Hip hop citizen, let's go. I cook it up. Through the beat, set fire to loose leaf, pursue peach, two speak, cock the hammer to two piece, put you to sleep. Man, y'all cats better wake up. Informants overrunning this game, rocking that makeup, it's horrifying that. We glorifying rats, they taking aim at the culture. I hit the floor and fire back, I won't aim twice, my aim nice. I grew up in the system that this the man and they tricking with game dice. Snake eyes, snake lies, take lives in plain sight. They bad with a bad man, them bastards ain't right. Snuffing our youth before they produce and take flight. Ain't nothing left to do except fight. Unify, collaborate, we worth more than the average rate. We waiting for justice for getting raped by the magistrate. Profit from prison, they trying to stop us from living. You watch CNN and Fox, you can't rock with division. That's a plot for division, landmine for mankind. Style cops, style out, see controlling your damn mind. And CNN ain't believing, yo, fuck it, my man fine. Then stand blind. But yo, I'ma keep it moving. There's too much room for improvement, supporting the movement. I breathe life while y'all abuse it. This is 99% for the culture, 1 for the music. Y'all talk a good grip, but don't do shit. Yeah, A7, Hip Hop Citizen. Check us out for the culture.
Yeah. Welcome to Hip Hop Citizen. I'm your co-host, Dialect 718.
Yes, and I'm David Simon. David Simonism. What's up, world? You know we global, so we gotta address the world now. Just can't say New York, Atlanta, and Texas no more.
Facts. You got Don Juan in the green room. He's chilling. Shout out to A7 on the intro. Shout out to everybody that was just tuning into the Pro Quote show. Shout out to Jay Cruz. Shout out to Professor Lyrical, who will be on next week's show, which is our 1 year anniversary show.
Absolutely. And I was just informed tonight. What's going on, Miguelito? I was just informed tonight that we will have a video premiere. Cyclops will be premiering his video for the song After Hours on the show next week as well.
Okay, just enlighten the people and myself. Who is Cyclops?
Castro. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. Sometimes the mind goes back to the old days, and I addressed Castro as his former moniker, or what is that? Nom de plume?
Was it nomenclature? I'm sorry, I'm just
nom de plume. What did you say?
My bad.
I believe that means anonymous writer or secret identity writer.
Okay, gotcha.
And yes, I was like you were saying, Pro Quo will be here next week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, it's going to be a crossover. In television terminology, it'll be a crossover of shows. We will be joining Pro Quo show at 10:30. Was it?
Yeah, 10:30, and then I guess we'll continue until closing.
Well, we're going to get his freestyle, and we're going to wait and anticipate your freestyle. And that's what the plan is next week for the anniversary show, March 5th. Please join us.
I'm down for whatever, but I think the way Pro Code likes to do it, he likes to come up with the topic and go out to the green room and write.
Well, this is why I said the 2 weeks. I was going to give him the subject or whatever have you, subject matter for a run, and he just bring in a verse and you just bring in a verse. I thought that would have worked out better for everybody.
You know what? I think that works better. I think maybe we can have Don Juan reach out to him. That'll work better. I could write a 16. You give us a topic, I could definitely go back and write a 16 and come with a 16 next week.
You see, he wants to prove his freestyle prowess.
Correct. You see, the thing with me is I can't freestyle without a beat. You get what I'm trying to say? And I feel like I can't write without a beat. That's like the art of MCing, like we did on Tuesday's show. You need some type of beat to influence you, some type of rhythm, some type of metronome.
Hey, can you loop the ending of Architect 7's song? Because it seems like there's a lot of beat left there.
There is a lot of beat. Actually, I do have the instrumental. But like with the technology on this platform. You know, once you start speaking, the beat kind of goes away. You know what I'm saying? So
I understand.
It's not conducive for this, but if you could definitely let us write it to a beat, I could definitely say it a cappella with the beat in mind.
I suggested last week that we would go with that route. So I'm totally on board for that to occur, where it gives everybody. But again, if he wants to come in and freestyle, that's up to him. If dialect, you want to do it that way, I'm totally okay with either or.
Because I'm a freestyle guy, but I just need a beat.
I understand that as well.
I need a beat. I have freestyle without a beat, but you know, still need that beat.
I understand. Hey, trust me. I don't rap. I don't freestyle. I don't even pretend to. So whatever you guys need to show your best attributes as freestyle, rapping, rhyming, entertaining the people, the citizens out there. Shout them out there all over the world. Like I said, I can't believe where people are hailing from, and they enjoy it. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's like it's been crazy since we started this show. I mean, we've had people call us from Abu Dhabi.
Yes,
I think we had a gentleman do a video call from India just last week.
That's right. That's what I'm still harping on.
On the Pro Quo, we had somebody call in from Scotland. And just this Tuesday on our premiere video show, we had somebody in the chat room from Madrid.
That's right. That's right. So, you know, the entire world is taking notice. And next week, we're going to give them a show, the crossover show, the Pro Quo meets Friday Night Live.
Yeah, I mean, also, let's not forget somebody called us from South Africa.
Right. In the early point.
In the early days. Yeah. We had somebody call from Trinidad.
That's right.
You know, so
Chicago. Some say that's another country.
We probably touched every continent with the exception of Australia and Antarctica.
I think this time of day is just off.
The time of day is off. Yeah, but yeah, definitely, man. So shout out to everyone. Hope they tune in for next week's show. We got some special things lined up. You know, we're going to try to see if we get back some old co-hosts. I'm going to do my part to see if I can reach out to some of them, see if they will. It's only one former co-host, which is probably Diva.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
That would be nice. Yeah.
Yes. You know, we've done so many shows now. We could go back to where, you know, we had an individual on the show and it looked like there was promise and then they disappeared. I mean, we got a roster full of
for that individual. There were banners created. She had posters ready. She had a streaming name. She bought equipment and then yeah.
So, you know, every body has their reasons of not wanting to participate with the show, and I understand. You know, I am an acquired taste. To say the least. Shout out the young lady that allowed me to be on her show at the school. Her name slips in my mind right now, but that was the name of her show, Acquired Taste. And that was no more true until I joined on the show.
Who's that? A straight shooter?
No, I would never forget Natalie's name. What, are you kidding me? No, this was another lovely lady when I first started at BC. And the general manager at the time thought it was best that I sit in on the shows before I did my own thing, which I was already ready to go. You know what I'm saying? To do my own thing. But then that was the routine. So I sat on this lady's show. I think she broadcast maybe Thursday, and it was called The Quiet Taste Hour. We had a good really repartee. That's why, you know, the Straight Shooter did make my show due to the fact that I had such a great time with this young lady. I wish I remembered her name.
Was it La Chica Bomba?
Nope. Wasn't. Please, me doing a show at La Chica Bomba, I couldn't concentrate.
Okay.
Not to say that Natalie didn't ruin my concentration a couple of times.
Okay, who was it? I know there was another lady who did a show.
I don't even think you were there. I think you
white female that did a show.
Say again?
It was a white female. She did a show. It's kind of like a gossip kind of show. Entertainment vibe. Okay. So it wasn't her. Okay.
No, this was. I don't want to give any awful description of the young lady that deal with body image and things like that. So I'm refraining from going that route to try to get you to know who I'm talking about, given that kind of descriptive description. So I would just hope that her name comes to me during the evening and night.
I think I know you're talking about a young lady from Trinidad, I believe.
I don't know if she was Trinidadian, but yes, she was from the West Indies. She was Caribbean.
I think I know who you're talking about. I just her name slips my mind, but I do remember she has a show in the evenings, and it was her, and she would have a couple of her friends coming from the Caribbean Student Union. I think I know who you're talking about. I think when you said the description, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but she was still beautiful and
oh yeah, very attractive, very attractive. Kind of remind me like Queen Latifah.
Yeah, exactly.
I know who you're talking about. I definitely know you. Like her name slips to my mind too, because I know her very well. I follow her on Facebook.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
I know her because remember, I was always at the radio station, just not working there, but I was always affiliated in some way, shape, or form.
Right. And
I knew everybody that did a show there.
And when she did her show with the Acquired Taste, it was during the day, and you weren't there always during the day. That's why I didn't think you would recognize her or remember her from my details. But Hip Hop Citizen is here. We still got the plans for today's show of February 26th is the last Friday of February. So this is our swan dance to Black Friday.
Yep.
And I hope before we get started, one more thing to open up. I hope people joined us Tuesday for the old school remembrance that we did. We trying to do this every Tuesday. I'm not making promises of start times. What did we start on time this last Tuesday?
Yeah, we did. It was Tuesday at 9 p.m. And since it's a video show with of course heavy copywritten material, it's only going to be broadcast on Twitch, and you're only going to be able to see it live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. YouTube Twitch wouldn't allow it as well.
Yeah, Twitch does the playback, but what it is that I got the birthday showing. Yeah, Twitch does the playback, but it blocks out videos that has copyright things in it. So so you could watch the playback, but just know some things might be muted. So it's always best to watch it live. That way you get to hear some of the classics that we're playing and enjoy the show.
That's right. Well, if we can't do it live, Facebook throws us off.
Facebook would just cut us off completely. That's why we opted out of Facebook.
Okay.
We decided to go with Twitch.
So Tuesday, 9 p.m. till 11, or until we're done.
Until we're done, yeah.
Old school, 80s. I don't know who's playing it, and if they start playing it, we got problems. Send them to me, Hip Hop Citizen here.
And the beauty of the show is that each one of the hosts gets to control the videos for the week.
See, like I was gonna leave that little part out. I didn't want people to know that I would be the one selecting this tunes this Tuesday. Okay. And you selected the premiere show, which was fascinating and great and wonderful. We all enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it out there. The peanut gallery seems to be empty, but maybe just that people are holding their tongues and allowing me to just unleash mine. So we're just gonna go and jump into birthdays. Tuesdays, 9 to 11, or when we're done.
Yeah. So the first birthday we have this week, Daddy-O from Stetson Sonic celebrates a birthday.
Okay.
Yeah, young cats that don't know who he is, man. This is definitely a pioneering hip hop artist from a great group. They had hit songs like Talking All That Jazz, where they take shots at I guess the community of people that they were sampling from who complained about it. But I guess they did that prematurely because they were young and they were using these people's beats. But what they needed to understand, as you get older, you realize these are people's intellectual property. You just shouldn't be allowed to use it and sample it and not expect to have to pay them something.
Okay, I agree with you on the tip of the familiar, like the beats that James Brown did. Everybody recognized. Yeah. And things like that. All of the Motown hits that was sampled, everybody recognized. It made it easy. And I'm not saying easy. It made the transition more appropriate or applicable for people to understand and accept. Okay, what Stetson Sonic used, I don't believe those beats was as famous as the ones that I just named.
Correct, famous or not, but they were composed by somebody. They were written by somebody.
I'm saying second chance in life.
Correct, but they should have got compensated for. And what I'm trying to say is that rappers, are like, oh, I don't see what the big deal is. It's art, yada yada yada. Why should we have to pay them? But then, fast forward to 2000s, when Napster comes out and people are downloading music, these guys are crying foul. Oh, they should be paying for music. They should no, but you guys open this can of worms. You know what I'm saying? The technology, the sampler came out and you were sampling people's stuff. You didn't think you had to pay the people who created the music. Now when Napster comes out and people are downloading your music for free, you take issue with it.
Well, we're going to touch on the internet and copywriting and sampling later on when we discuss De La Soul's story.
Oh yeah, definitely. We got to get into that. But I'm just saying that I think what it was, hip hop was a new art form. They started making money. And I guess they didn't see the harm in what they were doing because, hip hop kind of started out with pretty much people rapping over somebody else's music anyway, whether it was a disco track, whether it was Chic's Good Times that was actually like the first hip hop hit because Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight was pretty much produced by Nile Rodgers and Chic.
Right.
And they just kind of ripped that song from them. But like I just think they were young and didn't realize what they were doing. To me, now that I look back at it, it was wrong. You should always give credit to the person that creates the music.
Absolutely. I think they deserve credit as well as royalties.
Correct.
But I don't think that they should deny individuals to use it because they don't agree with the craft.
Like I said, if you disagree with the craft, fine. But, they should understand. And two, if the people don't want you to sample their music, that's on them. They created it. If they don't want you to sample it, just respect it. Because the late Bill Withers said, he didn't mind rappers sampling his songs. He said he only, one guy had Bill Withers had a song called It's Gonna Be a Lovely Day.
Okay.
When I look at you, and I know it's gonna be, he said somebody was like, they wanted to say it's gonna be an effed up day. And he said, nah, you can't use my sample for that. But everybody else, he let use it.
Right. Right.
So, I just think, with the whole sampling thing, it's fine, but just respect the people that did it, that created the music.
Absolutely.
I like to sample, but I always make it a thing now. If I sample somebody's beat, I always write down who I sampled it from.
Now, I wish we knew who the sample was that Stetsasonic was using.
I'm not sure, but I know when they did the song Talking All That Jazz as a kid, I just thought it had the jazz melody, that it was about jazz music. But when I actually go back and listen to the lyrics, I'm like, oh, they were talking about people complaining about them using samples.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, like you said, the Bill Withers incident, I can understand. He didn't want nobody to actually change the lyrics of his song. I'm with that. But the idea of people withholding, like say the Frank Sinatra, for instance, My Way. If someone wanted to use that sample, I don't think they would get clearance. And Sinatra's dead, but it's still individuals that control that intellectual property that would not allow it due to the fact that they probably don't agree with the artist, Little Baby or Da Baby, for instance.
Yeah, because I think that song was actually sampled. I think True Life used that. Frank Sinatra in the New York.
He did My Way? Oh, really?
Yeah, he sampled it.
Okay.
It's up to you, New York. He sampled that whole part, but it was more of like a song. It was done in like the mid 2000s where he was kind of talk about bring New York back because a lot of New York MCs were rapping like they were from down south.
I Did It My Way is New York, New York.
Oh, my bad. But I mean, he did sample Frank Sinatra.
Right. That song, that I think is almost public domain, that New York.
Okay.
Because I think it's about New York. I mean, people are going to want to request to use that.
Yeah.
But I Did It My Way or what's the Bundy's sample? I mean, the Bundy's theme.
Oh, Love and Marriage.
Yes. Is that the name of the song?
I know that's what he says a lot in the song. Love and Marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, but I'm sorry. We're getting back to Daddy O, man. He's definitely a part of the legendary group. He went on to actually become a producer of like R&B songs later on in his career. And I know he I don't know if you're familiar with the group Freestyle Fellowship. They had a song called Inner City Boundaries. It was kind of like a jazz rap song.
Oh, right.
He was on that joint. I think it was on the soundtrack of that movie Strapped. It was both Bokeem Woodbine and Federal Star.
Good movie.
Yeah. I think he was a part of that, but he definitely went on to do a lot of things behind the scenes. He produced a lot of Brooklyn rappers early in their career, like AZ and Foxy Brown.
Oh wow.
Before they got deals, and like I said, part of Stetson Sonic. Other famous member in the group was Prince Paul. I don't know if you know Prince Paul. He went on to produce with De La Soul and a lot of other artists.
Yeah, I know Prince Paul, but isn't his brother in the group?
Who's that?
Daddy O.
I'm not sure, but I know some of the members were D-Light, Wise, Fruquan, who went on to be he rhymed with the Gravediggers with RZA. Yeah. So it was a good amount of members. And I don't know if you remember Bobby Simmons was in the group. Bobby Simmons, who had that video show where people would call in and request videos.
I only knew it was to be 3 members of the group.
Oh, it was a big group. You remember Bobby Simmons, right? Bobby Simmons had that show.
Yes,
he was in Stetson Sonic, believe it or not.
He had a show on
public access, like
public. Very good dialect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then you can only get it in Bed-Stuy. You couldn't get it in Flatbush.
I used to watch it, but it's like, people would call up, hey, I could watch this video, and he would have the video lined up. But I didn't realize he was in Sonic when I looked at one of the old videos. Like, that's Bobby Simmons.
I didn't know he was that old.
Oh, yeah. He's up there. He's been out for a while. Yeah, man. Shout out to Daddy-O. Next person we have celebrating a birthday is Wishbone from the hip-hop group Bone Thugs and Harmony.
That's right.
Yeah. Don't know what Don Juan is doing behind the scenes, but
best single that they created, which one?
My favorite song for them, the biggest single I believe was Crossroads, but my favorite song was First of the Month.
That's a good one.
Wake up is that was my joint, man.
Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna say the one with Notorious Thugs, but yeah, you're right. First of the Month is a very good one. It ran for a long time.
True story. First of the Month was on Angie Martinez's Battles of the Beats back in the day, mid 90s, and it went up against ODB had a song called Rawhide, which was just like one of those B-side songs on ODB's album. And people were calling in saying, "Oh, that Bone Thugs song is corny, it's whack." And I remember me and my boy looked at each other and said, "Yo, that was a dope ass fucking song." Like, these guys were singing, they were rapping. I just thought it was a genius group, man. I mean, and all of them, they were similar but different.
You know what? You know why they were rejected at the beginning?
Why's that?
They were running with Eazy-E, and Eazy-E was being, how could you say nicely, what Dr. Dre and Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg joined in. They were all taking shots at Eazy-E, and everyone thought that Eazy-E was persona non grata. So anybody that came out with Eazy was deemed, soft and not respectable as well.
Yeah.
But Bone survived all that and came through. That's why I think Thuggish Bone, what is Notorious Thugs is the best song, because that was them saying, where Eazy was gone and we're still here doing our thing. I don't think they had much after that anyway.
Yeah, I always thought, like, they were a creative group, one of the most original groups in hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Just like, how a group is original when nobody can copy or emulate your style. And for some reason, nobody ever tried because they couldn't do it.
No.
It was like they were singers, they would rap fast, they could slow it down. Right. It was like,
you nailed it. The rap fast is what did people from emulating that group's talent.
Correct. And it was just like, it was like a control of the speed, because they would get fast, then it would slow it down to break it down for you, then it would harmonize for you. It was just like, they were just too amazing. And like I said, they were one of those groups that deserved the success that they had.
And they couldn't stay out of trouble.
Yeah, I remember Wishbone, one of his favorite lines in Crossroad was like, "Man, I miss my Uncle Charles, yo." That's the only part I remember in the song, because everything else was so damn fast, other than "I see you at the crossroads." But yeah, man, shout out to Wishbone, shout out to Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Shout out to Eazy-E. God bless
it. Yeah, man. Shout out to Eazy-E and Ruthless Records, man, because I think it was at a time where he said, he was kind of like people weren't really paying attention to him just because of the whole Dr. Dre thing. But for him to find this gem in Cleveland, coming out of Cleveland, Ohio, was amazing, man. That was a great find. That was a great find, because The hip hop game would have missed out if we didn't experience Bone Thugs and Harmony.
And I know most people think my tongue should burn for saying this, but shout out to Jerry Heller.
Ooh, yeah, like I said, he made Eazy-E, the businessman he was, but he kind of
There'd be no NWA without Jerry Heller.
Correct, and he kind of
no Ice Cube, no Dr. Dre, no Eazy-E, no Bone Thugs, Harmony, nothing.
He did the other members dirty though.
Well, you know what? Okay. When you get into the business, not everybody. You see, this is what's wrong with America, and not to get on a tangent or anything, but I'm gonna just explain something real quick. When your landlord, when your banker, when your grocery supplier, or even your pharmaceutical supplier are all trying to get rich, they all raise prices, or they all make sure that you are not the individual holding your money. They're trying to do everything possible to get your money into their pockets. Okay. For example, Snapple, whichever one, they want to be rich. And that's what's wrong with America. Everybody wants to be rich instead of being comfortable. Now, if Easy would have decided to be comfortable instead of rich, then Ice Cube would have got his PC and never left NWA. Dr. Dre would have got his PC and never left NWA. And other groups wouldn't have broke up as well. But my point here is, and I'll say it again, what's wrong with America? Everybody wants to be rich.
But that's not a problem, man. Like Les Brown.
There's just so much money to go around, dialect. Everybody can't be rich.
Like Les Brown says, he says, they say, what would they say about the rich? What they say? I'm trying to just think of something. They say money is the root of all evil. But everybody want to find out for themselves. I want to find out if it's the root of all evil. Just give me a large lump sum of money. Let me find out for myself.
Now let's say, for instance, dialect, you're in a position to get wealthy. So that means you're owner of something, correct?
Yes.
So that means you're not going to give prices to individuals that can afford it easily and purchase what your goods are. You're going to raise the prices to compete with everybody else that's trying to be wealthy, correct?
Not necessarily. If you create something that's going to sell, you could do it at an affordable price and still be wealthy. You know what I'm saying?
How? You're not going to make it in America.
Dude, like I said, man, the whole concept of being rich and wealthy, man, it's all a state of mind. That was what the last show was about with Pro Quo with their guest. I believe her name was Kendall
Smiley.
Kendall Smiley. Like, she said it's all in the mind. You know what I'm saying? You just got to think of ways to be wealthy. You know what I'm saying? It's a wealth mentality. I understand what Jerry Heller was trying to do, but like I said, the key to wealth too is that you have to empower others around you. When you start doing shady business, the wealth will go away from you. That's just what I believe.
Let's say, for instance, let's use numbers, because numbers is the best way that we can understand what occurred. Let's say Jerry Heller from the record label was able to garner $50,000 for NWA for whatever it is, because let's remember, it's a rap group. It's the mid '80s. Nothing is guaranteed here as far as this being a hit. So he gives them $50,000. Now, Eazy-E being from the ghetto, he's not thinking he has to give these individuals any money for what they're doing, because in his mind, he's thinking they're doing it for fun. You rap and make music all day for free, right? So keep doing it for free. I'm gonna keep this 50 grand in my pocket.
But what happened? Dr. Dre goes on to be a billionaire. Ice Cube is close to being a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? So Eazy-E's no longer with us, but you got to say the guys that were kind of like burnt by that whole deal went on to become successful. The guy writing the lyrics and the guy making the music, because that's what people really wanted. They came for the lyrics and they came for the music. They could care less who the CEO of the record label is or who the entertainment attorney is. All they're concerned with is the music. And those guys went on to become wealthy individuals. So probably surpassed the wealth that Eazy-E saw with his Ruthless records.
But now Dr. Dre had to use the same tactics that Eazy-E used. He had to sign Eminem. He had to sign Snoop Dogg. He had to sign all these guys on their first deal so he can get that big money that Eazy got for NWA first deal.
Right, but the difference with Snoop Dogg and Eminem, they're wealthy on the Dr. Dre. Whereas
Snoop left. Well, he didn't. Dre was kicked out by Suge Knight. That's
whereas Ice Cube and Dre weren't wealthy on the Eazy-E. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? These individuals went on to become wealthy. You know, and Dre too, when he was with Suge Knight, he got burnt again because he left Death Row with nothing. You know what I'm saying? So Snoop got burnt twice. I mean, Dre got burnt twice.
But
And
that's
went on to become wealthy.
And who's to say that Eminem did get screwed, or 50 Cent, or Kendrick Lamar?
You forgot about 50 Cent. 50 Cent is another one. He's wealthy. You know what I'm saying? All these guys on the game, wealthy. All these guys continue to be wealthy.
Well, I don't know if the game is wealthy. He's in a lawsuit that I believe some of his income and royalties is now being siphoned to someone else. I forget the individual that's getting his money right now.
But you know, he has wealth for somebody to try to take.
That's true. He had money to be sued for.
Yeah. Trying to get back to this birthdays.
Hey, everybody can't be rich. That's my point. That's all.
Listen, everybody can't be rich, but I damn sure want to try. And like I said, when I want to empower myself, I want everybody along with me to experience that same thing, not through charity, but through empowering. If you guys understand what I'm trying to say. Absolutely.
If you get into a position where you are a wealthy individual, you have avenues that everyone else, streams of income that people can become a part of. You say you decide to buy a grocery store, for example, you can give somebody a job if they're within your group.
Correct. I'll also give them a job and also say, listen, man, I could give you the tools you need to try to have your own grocery store. You know what I'm saying?
Not everybody's built for that, though, Dialect.
Listen, I mean, but like I said, I'll let them know how I did it. You know
right.
what I'm saying? I'm not one of those people that fear somebody competing with me. I think when you compete with somebody, you're just setting yourself up.
But that's just the way it is. That's the way wealth is created, from competition, you dominating the individuals that are out there doing whatever it is that you consider yourself to be doing to get paid.
Yeah, see, it's a difference when you have like competing. Say, for instance, you have competing fast food restaurants.
Right.
Everybody's competing, but pretty much, you know, one will probably make more money than the other fast food restaurant. But at the end of the day, the wealth gap is not different. Back in the day, you had bookstores. Back in the days, you had toy stores. You know, Toys R Us was the big whatever you call it, the big toy store at the time. But then you have a guy like Jeff Bezos who comes in and just changes the game completely. He's not competing with anybody. He's just saying,
yes.
I want to create something where everybody buys everything. You know what I'm saying? And look at him now, the wealthiest man in the country. He wasn't competing. He was just trying to
competing with Walmart. He's competing with Google. Whoever also want to supply you with all of your needs. Amazon is just one section of that multitude of trillion dollar business of supplying people of what they need. And especially since the pandemic, everybody's home doing nothing but just ordering. I mean, Amazon, Google, or Walmart, or any of the other services. Like, did you see that video where all those people are doing this dance to the Cardi B song? All of those delivery companies. There's about 5 delivery companies: FedEx, Partial Post, UPS, all of them. Their drivers are getting out of the vehicle, dancing to this Cardi B song called "Up," the newest one, and that's what it is. And next week is going to be the delivery people of DoorDash, Grubhub, Postmates, and Uber. They're going to do a video for it because all of these companies are doing the same thing. That they're in this the arena of supplying whatever individuals want, and they want to be the best at it.
And you know, somebody told me what all of these companies that you just mentioned are selling that people don't notice. They're selling time. You save time going through these avenues if you think about it.
Absolutely.
You save time having to get into your car, drive to a store. You could just go on your phone with Amazon and just shop. If you want to get food, you're saving time having to hop into your car and go somewhere.
That is brilliant.
Somebody just said all they're doing is Gary. I'm not going to take credit for it. Gary Vaynerchuk said all of these companies are just selling you time. And I was like, it's time. You know, it's not a product that's selling you. It's time. Because Uber, when it first came out, we laughed like, why you need to get a cab on your phone? You could just go outside there and wave a cab. And now Uber's the norm. The cab companies suffered because of that. Barnes and Nobles, when Amazon came out and you could buy the books online and then you have the Kindle, you know, people like, wow, I could just get the book right here in 5 seconds rather than having to go to the store and walk through these different aisles.
That's it.
You know, time.
Time is money.
How much is your life worth to you?
Like what they said, it's so true. When people used to say time is money,
That's
they
it.
wasn't thinking about it in that context.
No, they were not.
But
I wasn't ever thinking of that dialect. That was
all of these companies are selling. All of these companies are selling you time.
Time.
You don't have to think, hey, do I, Chick-fil-A is kind of far or McDonald's is this way. You know, I would go to Popeyes, but Popeyes is 2 miles out. You just hop on your phone and just say, hey,
that's it.
1 hour, 45 minutes to an hour, I'll get my Popeyes chicken.
I ain't gotta go nowhere.
Exactly. You don't have to do anything. Sit down and watch your TV show and not miss the game. Genius.
All work.
Time. That's why all my ideas that I'm thinking about have to do with time. You know,
you giving us the way to the goal dialect.
Just selling time. This StreamYard thing, selling you time. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to get up and we all have to walk to a studio, go through New York City traffic to meet up to do a podcast. Seems like, you could just hop out of bed and just come on here and say, hey, let's do a show.
Unfortunately, we're just wasting everyone else's time.
Yeah, this is J Live, right? Who J Live is.
Oh, my bad, man. We just got into a business conversation.
No. That was
great. It's great spirit.
Good stuff.
Yeah, great spirit.
Shout out to J Live. He celebrates a birthday. A lot of you guys might not know who he is, but an on-the-ground MC from back in the day. One of his songs that's a famous song is called Bragging Rights, I believe is what it's called, where he actually does something that was different. He was rapping while DJing at the same time. So he was cutting up the instrumental and everything while he was rapping. He recorded the song. It was it was a real impressive thing at the time.
Well, who wrote that bottom script that was there?
Oh, that he served as an English teacher.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's not in Brooklyn. It's in Brooklyn.
Oh, my bad. I was typing fast.
Oh, he was an English teacher in Brooklyn too?
That's right. From 98 to 2002. Served as an English teacher in Brownsville, Bushwick, and in Brooklyn.
I could believe that.
No, in Brooklyn. Brownsville and Bushwick is in Brooklyn.
It is in Brooklyn.
Oh, Bushwick, Brooklyn. Sorry.
Yeah, all those places in Brooklyn.
Bushwick. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Next person celebrating a birthday, Ali Vegas.
I remember the name, don't remember the hit.
Turns, I believe, 38 years old. And I remember him being a kid rapper, rapping with AZ back when he was like 16 years old, man. Definitely, he was ahead of his time. He was up there with like cats like Fabulous, but, he had a major deal. Career just never took off, though.
What was the song?
I don't know his major hit, but I definitely bought some because my roommate at the time was a DJ. So he would get all those white label stuff. And I got the Ali Vegas LP, and he had a song called Narcotics, where he was rapping like he was cocaine. You know what I'm saying? And for somebody that age to do that, and it was so nicely done, flowing everything.
I remember that one.
I thought the dude had potential, man. He was real good.
That was Future Flavor.
Had some pretty hard mixtapes as well. Albums included Generation Gap, Veganomics, Auto Veganomimetry, Bringing the Gap, as late as 2011. And some pretty cool mixtapes.
Yeah, and also his most recent stuff, he was on Doggy Diamond's show. I believe it's called No Filter Podcast. Yeah. And he was talking about a lot of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes in hip-hop. The rituals that people claim go on in hip-hop for these rappers to get successful.
And these rituals, what would you have an example of what he was discussing?
He said, typical stuff, man. A lot of I don't want to say because I try not to believe in that stuff.
Come on, like you HipHopCitizen, you have to air out all of that you hear.
I mean, like I said, I don't want to misquote the brother, but him and Doggy Diamonds were definitely talking about that stuff that goes on behind the scenes in hip hop music.
I can't believe you don't have an example. We might as well play the interview.
I got an interesting fact for you. In 2005, he and Lamar Odom founded Rich Soil Entertainment. And
yes,
so,
he's from Queens too. He is from Queens, Queens, New York. Well, that's pretty.
I believe that's defunct now, right?
Is that defunct, Don Juan? I guess he wouldn't know. He probably just looking up what they created.
Yeah. I'm just got his Wikipedia, his bio here.
Okay, what's going on, Micah?
And the next birthday we have a new artist out of the West Coast, down with TDE. That's Kendrick Lamar's crew. Ab Soul celebrates a birthday. I got into this guy a couple years ago, man. He's actually a creative lyricist. The most recent thing I seen him do was a song with Russ. And, you know, did his thing, man. You guys familiar with Russ?
Yeah, Russ. Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah,
yeah.
Russ, the singer. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you guys should check out Absol, man. Definitely dope. If he's running with Kendrick Lamar and Schoolboy Q, he has to be a dope MC. So check him out. We got the famous hip hop producer / I believe sound engineer. Young Guru celebrates a birthday. You know, this is the man behind the scenes of some of your favorite songs from. I definitely know he worked with Jay-Z. So, you know, shout out to Young Guru.
Yeah, recently the new stuff, the stuff that I don't really care for, unfortunately.
Ooh, you don't like the new Jay-Z stuff? 444.
Fucking hate that shit.
What?
Yeah.
Yo, you want me to tell you the God honest truth, dialect? You want me to tell you the God honest truth?
You don't like Jay-Z with the Basquiat dreads? You don't like Basquiat dreads, Jay-Z?
When he left Dame Dash, he left David Simon. Okay, that's the God honest truth.
I think Jay-Z has evolved. You know, I mean, I know he has a different look now. He's trying. I know he has a little Jimi Hendrix, Basquiat thing going on with the dreads. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I said? I said the number one thing that Kanye West did, and in my opinion, to destroy Jay-Z was making him an elitist. And once he became an elitist, he was useless to me. Okay.
Wow.
Give me 50 cents.
This is weird. A guy from Brooklyn saying he doesn't like Jay-Z's new stuff, man.
I hate that bullshit.
Student at Howard University, too, dialect. Began DJing in 96, where he met rapper Nonchalant.
Nonchalant.
DJ.
Nonchalant. 5 o'clock in the morning. Remember that song?
5 o'clock in the morning.
Where you gonna be?
Outside. He would have been with us then, dialect. He should have been there with us in 96. We were there in 96.
Probably, yeah.
96, we were there.
Yeah, Nonchalant was on the radio station. I remember, funny story about Nonchalant. She was on WPGC, and I guess she went to use the bathroom while she was doing her live show and locked the studio. And it was dead air for like 45 minutes.
Oh, she was a broadcaster?
She was a broadcaster.
I did not know that.
It was dead air for 45 minutes, and she was off the air after that. I don't know if she ever came back to radio.
Yo, Pro Lyrical, we was just talking about you while you were on your show. We was just saying that you could do how you ever want to do next week. You can come in on the program later to give your opinion, but I was telling Dialect whichever way he prefers, I'm okay with. If he wants to write something and broadcast it next week on a crossover program, that's fine. And if you want to do the same, that's or freestyle, either or is fine with me. I'm giving everybody their druthers. Did I say that right? Druthers?
The druthers, you got it.
Okay, and that's what we're accepting next week on the premiere show. Also, I don't know if there's I'll save that for behind the scenes.
Shout out to Micah, man. Micah knows who this artist is. I think autocorrect put officer originally, but it's Odyssey is who this artist is. He's a rapper / producer from out of Washington, D.C. You know what I'm saying?
Out of here.
Known in the underground. Oh, you know about Odyssey, Dave?
I heard his name bantied around. I thought he was from New York.
He lived in Brooklyn because I think he got a record deal at a very young age, and he moved out to Brooklyn. But he originally got his start with Kev Brown. He used to run with still runs with Peter Rosenberg.
Okay.
Peter Rosenberg used to push a lot of these artists.
I heard his name, Matt. Okay.
Yeah, Peter Rosenberg used to play a lot of their music on his late night show. Yeah, and I remember seeing Odyssey when he was young, had the long hair. And I remember telling my roommate, DJ Marshall Law, who was also down with the Low Budget Crew, I was like, yo, man, this kid right here is nice, man. He has these soulful beats. He has a nice delivery and a voice. And, he's been a successful artist, man, traveled the world. And his DJ is actually a DJ who used to DJ on our show, on our platform. DJ Unknown is his DJ.
In Diamond District.
Yep, he also created Diamond District. And one of his group members, I don't know if Dave, you were on this show with Uptown XO. He was in a group of Uptown XO.
Uptown XO was on the show. Shout out to Uptown
XO. The DJ, I mean the producer and the lyricist.
No, Uptown XO is the guy who had that song with Partying Like Trump Died.
Partying Like Trump.
Partying Like Trump Died.
Don't remember that one.
Oh, I don't think you won that show. I don't think you won that show. Yeah, final. I think this is another birthday. Earl Sweatshirt. MC Down with Tyler, the Creator. You guys not a fan of him?
Tyler, the Creator?
Earl Sweatshirt. I'm not familiar with him as much.
No.
Dope MC. You guys need to check him out, man.
I'm not familiar with Tyler, the Creator, to be honest with you.
Final birthday for this week. This young lady right here turns 50 today. Erykah Badu celebrates a birthday.
I got an Erykah Badu story for you.
Oh, you got a child by her?
Oh, I wish, but pretty close though. You were close, Dave. You know, I guess
in your area.
Yo, Erykah Badu, man. If
in your area,
only artist, if all her baby daddies was to put out an album like a group, that'll be one of the dopest groups ever.
Let me tell you, Dialect. Let me tell you, Dave. When I met her, I didn't know who she was. All I knew that this woman was absolutely gorgeous.
Yes.
I was getting off the plane. She was in the first class section, obviously, and the brother who got on the plane last was a handler. He was the guy carrying the jewelry. He sat with me next on the plane. He had all the old school gold chains. It made sense. I didn't make one and one together. But anyway, when we got off the plane, unboarding. Had my young daughter with me at the time. I was flying from Dallas on my way to DC. We had a layover. And as I was coming off the plane, there she stood in all white, long hair. And all I remember thinking, like, oh my God, who was this gorgeous woman? I gave her a look like the hamburger look, like, hey, like, And then, she kind of like she kind of looked at me like, don't look at me like that, like you're making me uncomfortable. But I had my daughter with me and she smiled at my daughter, which was really grateful. And then as the brother came from behind me, they walked together and he had all the Gucci bags. Then I said, oh, shit, that's Erykah Badu. And the funny thing is, check this out. This is the odd thing. As I'm walking behind Erykah Badu, Jesse Jackson walks by.
Oh, wow.
It was the craziest thing ever. Jesse Jackson walks by. He kind of did it like a head nod, but he does like a double take. Jesse Jackson and his boy kind of like look back too. And you can see them whispering like, yo, that was Erykah Badu. My Erykah Badu story, man. Shout out to Erykah, man. I'm in Dallas. If I see her, oh my.
Yeah, man, I got an interesting Jesse Jackson story, man. Jesse Jackson, his mistress. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Let's close out already.
No. His mistress at the time and the child, alleged child, they lived down the block from me in Washington, D.C. I just want to put that out there.
No. Hold on, Dialect.
That's true.
Hold on. I need a timeout. Let's first clear up what Pro Lyrical said, and then we're going to get back to you, Dialect. Pro Lyrical said he's going to pop up and write whatever or whenever is clever. We'll be on my laptop and have my headphones, but we'll be back in Boston. Easier, the better. Big day for Jay Cruz. So he's just going to go off of whatever the subject matter is. Mm-hmm. He's going to write it, and he's going to come and freestyle it on his show. Remember, if you want to hear Pro Lyrical's freestyle, it will be on the Pro Quo show. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Pro Quo show.
It'd be on the Pro Quo show. That's at 10:30 here on the Hip Hop Citizen Network. Now, did you see Reverend Jackson with this alleged mistress and
no
child per se?
I never did, but it was a story that took place in the news in the DC area. And when they showed the house, I was like, this house is right up the block from me.
Oh, right on the street.
Yeah, it's right there. So
it's right open, man. We used to see it all the time. We see the ladies standing outside. Well, yeah.
Because I left Howard after like 2.5 years, but I still lived in the neighborhood for like 4 more years.
Yeah.
But that's my Jesse Jackson story. But yeah, Erykah Badu, man, when she came out, man, I just thought this was a special artist, man. When she had On and On, just that song, I Was Born on the Water with 3/4 and 6 dimes. I'm just like, just
was she out before,
man? Just a talent.
Lauryn Hill, who was, because she did some rapping on her first album. So was Lauryn Hill rapping first, or was it Erykah Badu?
Lauryn Hill.
I think that was always done. Queen Latifah was singing and rapping. Let's not forget back then.
Well, you're right. So
you know, but yeah, Erykah Badu, man, like I said, she was a special artist, man. When you think of songs like Next Lifetime, Other Side of the Game,
hey,
you started working with Dilla.
Tyrone.
Oh,
Tyrone. It became an anthem.
On the verses were just heartwarming and touching, tear-jerking. She's got some good tunes.
And Erykah Badu was like the soundtrack of like my first year at Howard, because I think that's when she came out. Like our second semester was when she dropped that Baduism album.
That's right.
And all the sisters on campus would walk around with their head wraps, and
that's right.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lovely time, man. And Erykah Badu definitely paved the way. I mean, you have to say she's original, man. I don't think there's been anybody. I mean, they India.Arie try to come out with the head wrap look back in the day, but
Erykah turned the men out, dude. You know what I'm saying? Every man she touched, man, they ain't been the same since, man. She got with Andre 3000. He went different. Common ain't been the same since. You know what I'm saying?
I forgot about Common.
Yeah, I mean,
I forgot she was with. She had a list of dope MCs, man. Andre 3000. Common.
J Electronica.
No, DOC. Let's not forget DOC, man, who wrote a lot of Dre stuff back in the day. What's that?
DOC was the original. He was the first.
That's first.
No. Andre 3000 was.
No, Baby Daddy number 1 was DOC, I believe.
No. Baby Daddy number 1 is Andre 3007.
Okay.
I'm the pastor.
7 was her first child, and then I think.
But you know what I like about her? She kept it real with her light skinned kings. I don't know what this J Electronica shit is, but before that, she was loyal to the light skinned kings.
Let me tell you something. J Electronica is fucking signed to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z was all over his first album, man. He done came up.
J Electronica was a Rothschild. J Electronica got a Rothschild. And
after J Electronica was dealing with Erykah Badu, like Don Juan said, he got in bed with like a Rothschild, man. So it's like that's double come up. So yeah, but not to take away anything from Erykah Badu's talent. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people like to focus on that aspect, but she's definitely a musical genius.
Oh my.
I mean, I thought that was one of the best verses with Erykah Badu and Jill Scott.
Still relevant.
I mean, I had the most fun watching that verses than any other one, other than the Beanie Man and Bounty Killer.
Not to mention breaking the internet for doing that video, that guerrilla style interview video where she basically strips down in downtown Dallas.
Yeah, window seat.
Yes, yeah, phenomenal, genius.
It was a genius video because I think she was retracing the steps of John F. Kennedy when he got shot.
Yes, but D'Angelo was nude on his album cover first, wasn't he?
Yeah, people getting naked in videos, man. Ain't no new thing.
No.
Not with a booty like that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat room, man. Our usual suspects: Gary Szynski, Micah
Chizinski,
Pro Lyrical, and my main man, John H.
Oh yeah, what's going on, Mr. Hart?
So now we're gonna.
Mr. G.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump in right now to hip hop anniversaries. We got a good one going on this week. First anniversary, the single Big Papa celebrates an anniversary. What do you guys think of this? You wasn't a fan of this one?
Listen, I don't know if we're gonna go and delve into in depth on the story about Big's documentary coming out.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that, but let's just try to talk about this song. Like when you guys first heard it with the Isley Brothers sample Between the Sheets.
Okay,
I thought it was genius, man.
Listen,
it was fresh.
My favorite part about Big was his hardcore side. The way that he would just flow with words and terminologies that just weren't, it was common on the street, but wasn't common in the mainstream records. That's what made me love Notorious B.I.G. When he was Big Papa, for the ladies, strictly for the ladies for me. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I I was watching that hip hop show on FX. I forgot the name of it, but when Haitian Jack said they called him Tupac for a reason because they were Tupacs. I think they were like two bigs. You had Biggie that did the hardcore stuff like The Warning, Suicidal Thoughts. Then you had Biggie that did Big Papa. Yeah, Big Papa and One More Chance. I mean, you got to say, man, those are still some classics, man. I mean, A lot of the stuff being sampled was cheesy, but I think Biggie did these songs justice, man.
Juicy was cheesy to me.
It wasn't. I thought Juicy was a come-up song. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine. You know, used to read that magazine. Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine.
I love what he's saying. I'm just not feeling the way it was put together. Now, I'm not disrespecting the classics. I'm just saying my love for Notorious B.I.G. is Life After Death, when it's just hardcore storytelling, just wiling out.
I heard about they got the pounds in Georgetown. Heard you got half of Virginia locked down.
That's right.
Oh, yeah, you got to point out the only Virginia line.
Hey man,
shout out to Don. Shout out to
genius. Genius.
But get this though. We gotta take our hat off to P. Diddy, because P. Diddy had a genius strategy. You know, a lot of these rappers he was signing was hardcore, but he said, "Look, man, you gotta kind of nicen it up, glisten it up." Because when they did that Juicy video, you know, they said it was like ginger ale in those champagne bottles. It was a rented mansion. You know what I'm saying? So Puffy realized if he used these samples, these catchy samples that you recognize, that, you know, people would want to buy these albums, whether old or young. So it was a genius strategy. And I think if Biggie didn't have those tracks like Big Papa, Juicy, you know, One More Chance, do you guys think he would have been as big as he was?
From what I remember of the song Juicy, the sample is 10 times better than the song turned out to be. The song Juicy is a freaking classic. You understand what I'm saying? Now, like you said, shout out to Diddy and that whole legendary crew. What were they called? The Henchmen, the Hitmen? Hitmen. Shout out to all of them. They produced a fantastic album. I love Ready to Die, but I love Life After Death much better. And to your point, the Locks made them some soft music, and it just turned them completely off. Shine made a soft song, which, you know, I kind of liked. Shine.
Bonnie and Shine?
Is that the one with the it's also a Caribbean sample as well?
No, the one that one, Bad Boys with Barrington Levy, that's a hardcore song. That song is not.
No. There is also another one that he's also
Bonnie and Shine. That had Barrington Levy on it too.
Okay,
he's
so
about a girl.
Well, but I appreciate what he did with Total. That was a complete R&B hit. 112, Carl Thomas. When he did R&B, when Diddy did R&B, he did it great. But when he turned his hip hop classic artist into R&B, I just didn't see eye to eye. But like you said, that's what sold.
And also, Biggie made those R&B songs pop. If you think of Total, Can't You See?
Good song.
Rapping on that, you know, that was a hard sample with some R&B on it. Biggie made that joint pop too. Then when you think about 112, Biggie was on that joint too. He opened that song up too as well.
Hey, Big was superior when it came to the late 90s, mid 90s, early 90s.
But this song right here, man, definitely, man, dope, man. Big Papa.
Good video.
Good song too, man. I mean, like I said, I didn't really like all that sweet stuff, man, but this R&B joint I actually liked.
I like his skit.
R&B hip hop joint.
Biggie,
what's that, Don Juan?
Biggie has some funny skits too.
Oh yeah, definitely has
some between the songs where that dude, you know, it made you like. I mean, for me, you know, saying he made you feel like, you know, saying that dude on the street, man, that's funny, that gangster funny dude, you know, saying that, you know, you respect it, but he can make you laugh at the same time, but you respect it. So yeah,
that's a Brooklyn thing though. Brooklyn, so most of the hardcore dudes are funny dudes, man. Even when you look at the mob movies, man, you know, them dudes is funny, man.
Biggie and the Brat was dope. Biggie with Method Man was incredible. Who else on that first album was good?
I know all I remember is Method Man on that first album.
And you know what else made Notorious B.I.G. a fantastic artist? When he did Give Me the Loot, and he switched up his voice on Give Me the Loot and Warning. Both of those guys, both of those individuals is Notorious B.I.G. And the video, Daddy is on the phone with Biggie, but on the song, that is Biggie doing those.
He's like, remember those niggas from the hill up in Brownsville that you go dice with, smoke blunts, and got nights with?
Yes. Now you want to talk about two Biggies? There's an example of two Biggies.
Yeah, but speaking of Brooklyn and speaking of famous hip hop singles, this single right here celebrates an anniversary. Jay-Z released Dead Presidents, believe back in like 1995.
Man,
This album right here, to me, it's not called the blueprint, but it is the blueprint to Jay-Z's.
Absolutely.
All he raps about in the song is that he's letting y'all know he's here to take over, and he's not here to take over for like short term. He's like, I'm gonna take over this game, and I'm also gonna be rich. And he went on to do that, man. Like, talk about speaking something into existence. I'm out for presidents to represent me. Ooh. I'm out for dead presidents to represent me. When I listen to this now, I get chills because I'm like, yo, Jay-Z was letting people know, y'all gonna know my name. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my. If the new Jay-Z could see the old Jay-Z, he couldn't believe it. Or the old Jay-Z could see the new Jay-Z, I don't think he could imagine he'd be where he is today. But you're right. In his mind, he was on his way.
Because even like when they asked somebody like Big Daddy Kane, who Jay-Z was used to travel with back in the day, Combat Jack asked Big Daddy Kane, did you think he would be as big as he was when you met him in the 80s? He said, hell no. He said he didn't think this guy was going to be big.
Wow.
And, you know, I think Jay-Z was on a different wavelength when he put out this song right here. I think, you know, it was like I don't know how to say it. It was like a commercial song with a deep meaning. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't see the hidden meaning in it back in the day, but now I do. It
definitely pushed the game forward. I mean, I remember that vibe back then. It was one of those things where every artist was stepping up their game after that album. It was just bananas. One of my top fives. One of one of my top fives in my iPod, whatever I play, no doubt.
Just the little gems, man. Everything was what he said. Hit with the repo, they repo your vehicle. Everything was all good just a week ago. He was just saying, like, a lot of these guys are posers. He's like, yo, I'm the real deal. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you guys driving in these whips, but the car's going to get repossessed.
And you know, the collapse.
So deep, man.
The collapse, even with Memphis Bleak, where he talks to Memphis, like, yo, I'm going to take care of you, my dude. and he basically did. Memphis Bleak is the right-hand man. You want to get the Jay-Z, I hear you got to go through Memphis.
Yeah, that's the album Reasonable Doubt. I'm just saying this single right here itself is just deep. You know what I'm saying? This is like, classic. I mean, David Simon is quiet. What do you have to say about this album?
I'm just letting y'all build them up before I tear them down. That's all.
Go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say.
No, I'm just saying, you know, the reason why this song took off, as I remember it, was the fact that he said that line. What's the line, Dialect? What's the famous line from this song?
There's a lot of famous lines. I want money like Cosby, who would it?
That's exactly right. And he looked just like,
you make me think you probably ain't got no pudding.
Look just like one of those Saturday morning cartoon characters from the Fat Albert gang. Everybody took to that like ice cream and cake, and that's what made it jump. Now, also, the EPMD stealing of the helicopter coming in was also something that everybody remembered right away. But just the like you talking in existence dialect, when you say the man was a prophet, but he was talking about, you know, people snitching and the feds on people, and then, you know, you hear about him doing deals with Trump, and he's manipulating elections now, and then he's got people in his organization that's considered rats and all the rest of this. So then, you know, there's two Jay-Z's. All we learned is that there's just two artists with all of these people.
I mean, I just think what he was saying in the song, I didn't understand it when I was younger, but just the way he started off, well, others spit that Wonderama shit, meaning, you know, you got all these MCs who spit all that super lyrical miracle stuff. Me and my conglomerates shall remain anonymous, caught up in the finer shit, live out my dreams until my heart gives out.
Now you're talking about the guy I love.
That's fucking deep, man. That's like stuff you put in a fucking inspirational book. You know what I'm saying? He's saying, you guys focus on being the best lyricists. You guys focus on having the dopest bars. I'm trying to build an empire here. You know what I'm saying? And it's like nobody noticed that when he did the song. They just thought it was a guy rhyming over a ski beats, you know, with a Nas sample on the hook.
But John Harper's correct. It's Jay-Z featuring Nas, and in reality, it's just the hook. Nas the Messiah.
It's just the hook. I mean, you know, it did feature Nas on there, but like, I'm just saying, I got to give the man his credit while he's still here, man.
The first word that you said,
Jay-Z was a guy who like came out of nowhere at the time. You know what I'm saying? There were like so many other I think, better MCs at the time. There was everybody in Wu-Tang Clan. It was like Nas, you know, and then here comes this guy from out of Brooklyn, you know, doing
co-signed by Notorious B.I.G.
Correct. You know what I'm saying? Co-signed by Notorious B.I.G. But like I said, you know,
without that co-sign, without that Nas jump off. Listen, okay, let's talk reality right now. Hope got some great hits. He's got some fantastic songs in his early days. My maturation wouldn't occur without those hits. Imaginary Player, from Marcy. There are some classics that he has put out that was just full of genuine genius and thug terminology. That can't be argued. No, no Biggie, no Jay-Z. Hey, what's going on, Pro Lyrical? You telling me that little thing you put in the comment was a rhyme?
That's my Dead Presidents remix. That little link.
Oh, no, I'm talking about when I recited your.
Oh no,
comments.
I was saying the pro. I was saying you forgetting the name. I was like the Pro Quo Show. It rhymes, man. It's easy.
Oh,
I was like, it's an easy show. No, man, it's all good. I was in the room when this was made, so this was a big song for me, man. This was
in the studio.
Yeah, we're in Ski's. I you know, it's funny. I just wrote a song about it today. Me and my man Fee. We're doing a track over a ski beat right now, and Ski's our mentor, man. So we were there in '96, 110th and First in the room this was made in, and then we went to D&D and did it.
And so you're saying your verse is on the remix?
No. It's I'm just rhyming over the beat, but
okay.
Nah. But
so you were there when they made the beat, or recorded?
Yeah, I was there when we made the whole song. It's a long story, man. It's in my book, but it's that's like my my whole upbringing was like through Ski, and it was one of those things where a lot of rappers have those, you know, big stories or whatever, but this was where Jay-Z was still nobody at the time, and you know, I knew who he was because I rhymed fast and all that stuff, and he rhymed fast, you know, on the big jazz stuff. But really, jazz was the big deal. Still, when this was coming out, it was still all about Jaz-O, and Jay-Z and Jaz-O were playing in the group, and they treated Jaz-O, man, like an alien from another planet. Like he was the biggest rapper of all time. They talked about Jaz-O while Jaz-O was sitting right there, like a god, and Jay-Z was like an afterthought still. And but Dame Dash was all about the, you know, more about the Jay-Z thing. Let me tell you, that dude is a workaholic, yo. Workaholic. Like, you don't hear it enough, you know, like you see sport athletes and stuff and they never show you the behind the scenes, and then when you do, you're like, yo, they can hit 33 pointers from the elbow and they're like 7 feet tall, and you never see that in the game, right? Jay-Z has like the most ridiculous work ethic like I've probably ever seen, you know, and it comes to writing a rhyme, and really everybody that came through his studio was kind of on that wavelength. But
so how many people in the studio?
So this was Ski's 1-bedroom studio. It was a studio apartment, 110th and First. We went record shopping with Ski for the record that became this record, and we were shopping for it to be a sample on our record. That's how screwed up it is. And Ski has a lot of those stories. So the chop of this song was a song that we did called Lyrics, and it was not nearly as good. And we loved it. We thought it was the dopest thing ever. And we used a scratch by Special Ed that went lyrics. Somebody went lyrics. And I'm sorry, that was KRS-One. But Special Ed came out with a song.
Yeah, I know that one.
That was using the same scratch. And so we scrapped it. We put it on the side. And then Dame Dash was like, yo, why are you giving these whack rappers all these great beats? You got to give that stuff to Jay-Z. And this was retooled, done right.
Rappers or whack rappers?
No, whack rappers. Well, I mean, it was kind of one and the same from Dame Dash's viewpoint, I think. But, and so anyways, he retooled this, did it way better, took a different part of the sample. It became what it is. And, yeah, man. But you know what's funny is Ski didn't even hear the remix I did. It's funny because I didn't do it till like a couple years later, and I always thought I gave it to him. You know, and Ski and I have talked for years back and forth. You know, even though we're in different states, I used to go down every weekend with Fee, and to his apartment to record, and we go back and forth. But you know, you stop going after a while, right? It doesn't make feasible sense. I wasn't gonna move there. And he never heard the remix I did till 2 years ago. We was at an event up here. I gave it to him. He's like, dog. He's like, what were you doing? He's like, we could have put that out, done something with it. I was like, yo, we still can. He's like, He was like, you were so in the pocket on that. You sound as nice as Jay. I was like, my heart stopped when he said that. I was like, what?
I can't wait to hear it.
Wow.
Yeah, I gave you the link. It's right there, man.
Yeah,
but
I'm copying it now.
it's but anyways, yeah, it was just on like some mixtapes, you know, in Boston kind of stuff or whatever. But I do it at shows, like I still do that. But I took it from the perspective of, it's funny because I talk about moving to DC way before I ever moved to DC. I was talking about real presidents.
Why didn't you write a Jay-Z diss track?
What's that?
Why didn't you write the Jay-Z diss track?
Why, dude? Like, I looked at Jay-Z as like the prophet, man. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jay-Z.
That's where you went wrong. You should have.
Nah, I'm not wrong, dog. Like, I was telling my mom was telling me, I had a college degree at the time, right? So my mom was telling me, why are you wasting your time driving down to New York City every weekend to go record with this guy? I'm like, you don't understand. This guy, this dude Jay-Z who we're doing with, I got his record in my bedroom for like 89. He is going to be the biggest rapper ever. We went to all the shows. We went to every single show with them, yo.
He seduced all those other acts that he ended up screwing royally. The Rihannas, the who else out there dialect the
yeah, but I don't even care about that. I'm just talking about him as a lyricist and an artist.
Yeah, you talking about an artist, not a business.
Yeah, he's one of the best in the world, hands down. There's no question about it. And like it's and I agree with you, Dave, though, where you were saying like some of his new stuff, it doesn't hit for me like some of the stuff, but he's still, I mean, if you just heard this dude come out today, you'd be like, yo, this dude's nice. It's just we're spoiled because we know how incredible this song is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's like, and how incredible some of his older stuff is. But he is on a whole different spiritual dimension. I mean, with his gift in the pen,
he's
man.
He's elitist now. That's what it is.
I get you. But he's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? You just got to give it up. When people are nice, you just got to give it up. I mean,
I wish I was hearing the pro lyrical story where you sat down and you
I battled Dame Dash. I battled Dame Dash in the apartment.
You resented Jay-Z for taking your track and thought that you deserved it, and you wrote something.
Nah, it wasn't. We didn't even know he took it. We didn't even know that he was rhyming on that track at the time when it was happening. We put it aside and we were working on 3 other records, and then like a month later, Ski was like, "Yo, you want to come to D&D? We're finishing that song Jay was doing." We're like, "Oh, what's the beat?" And he's like, "It's the same sample." It was the. You know, saying we're like, oh, yo, you flipped it with that. He's like, you weren't using it. So it was but we honestly weren't going to use the one we had, dude. It's funny, we never put out any of the original songs we did with Ski, but some dude grabbed one of them and was like, yo, you got to put this one out. It was called Head Bobbers. I put it on a record I did before, but we never like officially put it out because we just, you fall out of love with your songs. And we were like, yo, and now we're like, yo, we got to do some Ski tracks. So me and my man Fee, we're doing a Ski track. I'm going up. That's what I'm doing in Lowell. I'm recording the Ski track this weekend, actually. We talk about all that stuff on the records and stuff. Us and Camp Low were recording every other day. It was me, Camp Low. We sound a lot like them, actually. That's what our records sound like. We all kind of sound like, even Jay does. Bahamadia up in there. Just everybody, man. Shout out to people like, you may never heard of like Snagglepuss. I don't know if y'all ever heard of Snagglepuss. Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, I know you Brooklyn, but
Snagglepuss the other day.
Snag was there every day. Yo, Snag's my man, yo. He's Diesel now. I don't know if you've seen him, but he's like, he's huge.
He's huge. He's making.
But Snag, it was us, Snag, Camp Low, Jay-Z. And don't forget, Ski was nice as heck on the microphone too, but he's just trying to get him to rhyme. It was like,
flavors.
Old Flav, man, is the Jay-Z you're hearing on that record. I'm telling you, like they took Jay-Z style, changed dramatically from Camp Low, Ski, even us, even the vibes we were doing, because it was that strictly hip hop, East Coast, fast skills stuff. And don't forget, you got a record with Fresco. He was also, I was talking to you guys about that last week. He was in Battle for World Supremacy too. Ski was rhyming with Fresco. All that stuff influenced Jay, because Jay is not the nicest person on the record, on Old Flav's record. With there's Jay and there's Fresco, and Fresco kills everybody on that track. And like Jay did start slowing it down a little and start talking that Wonderama, you know what I mean? That like you were citing on the rhyme. Mm-hmm. He did. He was speaking to himself. He was speaking to the lessons that Dame Dash was kicking to him, because people were in his ear telling him, yo, you want to make money, man. All that skills battling kind of stuff you're doing, yeah, you're nice, but that's not the path for you if you want to take it to the next. That's what we were doing, and we still do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We still like rhyme, kind of like for the purist of lyricism. And there is a ceiling on that. The ceiling is mad skills. You know what I'm saying? The ceiling is Fresco. The ceiling is, you know what I'm saying? And Jay-Z, whole different level.
So speaking of battle, next week you're gonna be in Boston.
I will. Yeah.
Okay, so you'll be doing your show.
I'm bringing the laptop just for y'all. Yeah. I think it's gonna be just me doing the show because Jay Cruz is getting married, man, on that day. So I'm also trying to be involved with that. But you know what I'm saying is trying to respect his whole day and shooting a video, doing that.
Jay Cruz's big day is me.
That is Jay Cruz. I found out yesterday myself, man. That's new news. So Friday has changed a little for us in our world, but we can still make it happen. We can find some time to.
Would you like to postpone until the 12th?
What's the 12th?
That'd be the following Friday.
Oh, yeah, it might be better for all of us. Maybe we have a guest on the 12th. Jay's not going to be on our show, so I don't even know what we're doing on the 5th, to be honest. I was going to hold it down. Maybe I was going to have him call in for a few minutes or something. So it might be a little hectic, and I'll be in a hotel room probably. Okay. But
then we're postponing the rap battle until.
Well, we told people tonight on our show at the very end, but I think there were probably like 5 people listening by that time. We were like, "Yo, check us out. We're gonna do a little cross show promotion, little writing thing." We invited other MCs to do it too, but we can tell them. I don't think people are gonna be like, "Oh my God, no, I came just for that." You know what I'm saying? Right. Yeah, the next week could probably work better.
Fantastic. So that's what we. So, but lyrical. Let me know on the fact of my main man Castro. You gonna do that interview or no?
Oh yeah. I haven't even talked to Don Juan about it. What I was telling him though is I remember he said he's the father and son dude, right? I got my ace, man. He's actually from Lowell as well. My ace is in a father and son group, and I was telling Don Juan if I put any father and sons on our show before I put on my man, I'm gonna hear about it. So maybe we could put both of them on the same night, another father and son kind of duo. But I gotta check with my dude because he's been uprooted too, moving from city to city. So I gotta find out if that's good for him. But that would be real dope, man. And by the way, he did a Brooklyn hip hop festival with his son Miles Maker. His name is Donnie Maker, DJ Def Rock, and he's an ill MC and a rapper, and his son DJs for him. And when he did the Brooklyn Fest, he put it on his Facebook page. He put, "Yo, somebody just called us the greatest father-son hip-hop duo ever." I was like, "Yo, that's dope." There's probably like 6, but that's hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm probably the greatest rapper from Lowell who's ever been a professor and, you know, wears a Celtic hat. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can all find. You know what I'm saying?
Am I old to the new Vogue thing of father and son? Are we at that point in the hip-hop lineage where
I think so.
It's not going to be father and son acts?
Doug, I'm 50 and my son is 7. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, I could have had a son who's, you know, 25 right now. That'd be crazy. You know what I'm saying?
If not 30.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
I'm trying to think of father and son duo in mainstream.
That's what I'm saying.
Think of.
Are we now in the process of that can occur? I mean,
absolutely.
Ice Cube and his boy could have done it, but they didn't.
My son's on the new Pro Quo album. He got a little singing on there, but
but he's 7, like you said.
Yeah.
Go to the club and have a drink and
not yet.
He's on the ads.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, Ghostface and his son, Sun God. I know they
did
some tracks together. Yeah, they did some tracks together.
Okay, so
I think that's dope.
It is. Yeah, I think it's fantastic too. And the only thing about it is, you know, that the idea of an older gentleman rapping seems, you know, immature. So you still have to get it across to people as an art form that like,
yeah. It's crazy, man. I mean, you're so right. It's like you think of this track, this Dead Presidents, right? Like that was 96. You know what I'm saying? And Ski and I were talking about doing this 25th anniversary thing. We were talking about it on the 20th anniversary of like where I interview him at a show. We have him playing his beats and stuff. And I'm talking out of pocket because I haven't talked to him about the 25th one. But Fee and I were just saying, yo, we got to have him do this thing now. Maybe do it online on our show. You know, he checked in a couple weeks ago and said what's up on our show. We were like, yo, we should have him up on the show, do a 25th anniversary kind of thing. But we wanted to do a live show, like in a club when back 5 years ago, we never did it. And last time Ski came down here to DC, you know, we were talking about all kinds of he was like, yo, you got to come in the crib, do some beats, blah, 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 whatever. And then I actually called like 3 days later And I told him I was going to come through in New York, and I couldn't actually end up doing the thing. So I was like, yo, next time. And then COVID hit. So, but it's crazy. This song's 25 years old. And I'm like, yeah, I could have had a kid right now when I was writing those rhymes. You know what I'm saying? And
you would have wrote "fuck Jay-Z," then you would have a child.
Nah. You want to hear what I wrote? You want to hear what I wrote to this? It went, hey, yo, I flashed credentials for them sweet presidentials, cause my potential for Washington's is monumental. The non-essential things in this life, blinging with ice. When married men is living trife without a ring for they wife, I'm sticking to mics, cause that's what I got skills to do. John Wilkes, how I killed my 16 in the booth. I speak to the youth. They peeping out my sneakers and boots. They fiend for the loot. It's like I have to sneak in the truth. Who's leading the troops? I ask him who the president is. Write a letter to him. Find out the address that he lives. You blessed to be kids, but don't waste away your life. Y'all got much more. Make him save a space for your face up on Rushmore. You touch more people in your life than you know, so think twice what you spitting through the mic of the show. Been liking the dough, and I apologize. You know, I get into all this other stuff, but I say,
if you hypothetically, let's just because you're a fast freestyler, you can create right off of the dome. Let's just say you were decided to go and insult Jay-Z.
You're a rebel rouser, man.
How would that sound? That's what I get paid.
It wouldn't, man. Yo,
I wouldn't insult Jay-Z if anybody paid me to do it, man.
Yeah, man. That's like,
yo.
With
you guys. No, come on. You gotta be kidding me.
Nah, dog. I apologize. Saw the dollar signs. Wanted just to sign on the dotted line. Yo, I'm in that song. I am actually talking about how I take a different route. Like, I'm talking about how for me it was all about the love of the game, not the money, right? So that's where I actually go in that song. And I actually start talking about actual presidents, and I start talking about like how it's screwed up. We chase the money or whatever. But I'm not dissing them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just taking it from
the way you took the song. I appreciate what you was doing. You was educating, because that's what you are. You're an educator.
Yes, sir. I wasn't then, by the way. I was just a regular walking on the street. You know what I mean? Doing my thing.
You're a battle MC, and your challenge was Jay-Z. How would that sound? That's all I'm asking.
I don't know, man. I would probably. It's kind of like saying, would you you know, my son takes Taekwondo, you know, it's like, would he ever challenge his master? You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I'm done.
He's going to be a black belt in 2 months, but his master's 7th degree. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just because you got a little, you don't throw pebbles at the stones, you know, at the throne, you know?
God bless you. But you're useless to me now.
You said that about Jay too, man.
No, yes, exactly. You are on his level right now. Congratulations.
But you know what? If you're asking for what's the flaw in the Jay-Z armor, is that what you're asking? The flaw in the Jay-Z armor? Yeah, of course you'd attack that he's rich now and he's the first billionaire in hip hop and he's out of touch, blah 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 blah. But you know,
no. I want you to diss the Jay-Z of '96.
Oh, that ain't happening. Nah, the Jay-Z in '96. Yo, you know what's funny? The first thing I said to him when I walked in, he was sitting on the windowsill and he was thinking of rhymes for this track. And by the way, he had a pad. By the way, just to dispel all the rumors that he always did in his head.
Thank you. That's good. Give me more.
Yeah. So he's sitting on the windowsill, and I walked in. I was with my man Papa D. Papa D was is DJ up on the biggest station in Boston. It was WERS, right? They played our records and stuff like that. So we drive down, and I walk in. I'm like, yo, that's Jay-Z. But keep in mind, Jay-Z hadn't had a record out since like '89, right? And so everyone's like, who? And I'm like, yo, Jay-Z, that's the dude with Big Jazz. And I was like, yo, that dude is in the Taste of Chocolate Big Daddy Kane video. and I was like, he plays with Kane, and I'm the biggest Kane fan in the world. And so I'm like, yo, he's like Kane's hype man. They're like, what are you talking about? So I walk over to him, I go, yo, you Jay-Z, right? He's like, yeah, man. I go, yo, this is the first time I met him, you know. And I'm like, yo, I go, aren't you in the Big Daddy Kane video, Taste of Chocolate? And he looks at me right dead in the grill. He's like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. And I was like,
wow.
I'm saying, you were in the Big Daddy Kane video, right? And then I'm late. I'm over the other side of skis. It's not a big apartment, you know. It's like 30 by 30, right? And I'm like over the other side, right? I'm over by his kitchen. And he comes up to me and he's like, dude, I was just fucking with you. I'm in the that's me. I was like, oh, yo, excuse my French there. But it's like, I was like, why are you doing that? He was like, I was just messing with you, see where you were going with that. I was like, nah, I worship Kane, man. I was like, and, but yeah, that was my first encounter with it. But anyways, always on that windowsill. While everyone else is talking and goofing around, he's writing a rhyme, yo, all day. Did you not
feel the arrogance and the disrespect and him saying.
I brought him to Lowell High School, right? My high school, right? The where I was teaching at, right? The following year, actually, it was DJ Roberto from Lowell who brought him, but we were cool with the camp, and so he was like, "Yo, we should do a Camp Low ski Jay-Z show, whatever." No one knew who Jay-Z was in Lowell in like late '96, right? No one knew who he was, and it hadn't blown, right? I was talking about this before. It hadn't blown in Lowell. We bring him to Lowell High School to rock at a talent show to do the song. It was really original flavor. Bringing Jay-Z and Chubby Chub. They all came, played at Lowell High School. This was late '96, right? Dude, there were like 30 people. And it was a talent show, and Jay-Z and Chubby and Ski and everybody, T-Strong, all sitting in the back, and they're going, the whole thing, me and Fee, the whole time, we always talk about this. He's like, total representation, because of all the acts that were getting up there was so whack, and they're from the back row, they're going, total representation. You know, the whole, because everyone was awful. And so they were so, like, disappointed that there were only like 30 people. This is going to be like one of their first big out-of-state shows, you know. Ain't nobody there. No one knew who they were. And check this out. Across the street was the Songus Arena in Lowell, and it was built that same year. It wasn't there when they first came. He comes back 2 years later, a line around the stadium and around the block to get in to see Jay-Z, who was just there for a free show, and 30 people were there. You know what I'm saying?
You know, when he first came out, they didn't spell his name with the A and the Y and the hyphen. It was just the J and the Z, just like AZ. Yeah. And there was a little drama, especially since he was using the dead presidents, which became the big, huge drama. But what I'm saying here,
he was emulating Jaz-O. That was his protege. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, we understand what the Jay-Z actually mean now that we've learned who he is. But when he first came out, they only used Jay-Z in the video, just the letters Jay-Z. Yeah. And so with AZ and Nas were,
and AZ was popping.
They thought it was an insult, and especially he was from Brooklyn. They thought he was trying to, hone in on what they were doing. But
AZ is one of the sickest people to ever touch a microphone. By the way.
AZ was in this video though.
AZ's flow is insane.
Yes, he's in the beginning when they were at the table.
No, the ending when they were playing dice. They were playing Monopoly.
Oh, I thought it was okay. Yes. Oh, Biggie's Who Shot You?
I never heard, but I'm not from Brooklyn. I never heard any AZ animosity ever. I never heard any of that stuff.
Yeah. What, are you kidding me?
No, I never at that time. At that time, I never heard. By the way, I went to a show with Jay-Z and Biggie. How crazy is that? Right? I went to a show with Jay-Z and Biggie at the same time, and I may have told you before too. Jay-Z couldn't get in the club. he was behind me and Fee in line, and they were giving him. I write about it in the song too. I was like, they were hassling him because he wasn't on the list, and we were on the list, and I was like, I think you want to let him in. And I'm like, he's rocking in this show. There were 2 shows like that he couldn't get in. And you know how lists were so important then. It was like, yo, you're not on the list. It was like, come on, man. I don't think you understand who this is.
That's the song right there. I remember when you couldn't get in the club. You could have been filthy fucking rich and famous right now if you would have ever written the.
It's in the song I just wrote,
and it would have been huge. Nah. And I can't believe you say you 50.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you tomorrow you wake up and write it, and it blows up anyway. But I think you missed out on a golden opportunity, Pro Lyrical.
You always trying to diss someone, man. What's going on with you?
I applaud you for your loyalty. But I also want to boo-hoo you for your not having the tenacity to want to tear down anybody in front of you that try to prevent you from being
pro-lyrical. Trying to prevent pro-lyrical from doing it. And honestly, pro-lyrical was in no position to be, still isn't, was in no position to have Jay-Z worrying about what he was doing, man.
Doubt yourself. I think you could have been huge. Yo, you just told 2 magnificent stories. He couldn't get in the club.
Here's the thing. Here's this is a good lesson for all MCs listening. Yo, we came back to Boston. We put out the records under the Ski formula. Put out our records. They went to number 1 and number 2 on the college charts, respectively. Played all over the country. The records that we made that sounded just like we say "Rock a Block" on the Ave till the lights went out, on the record. But our in-house producer actually made the record under Ski's tutelage. In fact, we bring him to get mentored from. Anyways, put out this record called "Butter Messenger." Right, does incredibly well. We maxed out every possible thing that we could do for someone who wanted to live in Lowell, Massachusetts and not move. And what MCs would say to us, they go, yo, you guys are sick. Well, and we'd say, yeah, what do you think we should do to actually, blow up a little more? They're like, move to New York. And we were like, nope, not doing that. And so if you really want to blowing and being big or whatever, sometimes you got to make that move. And if you're not willing to, then you got to know that there's going to be a cap. We're cool with the cap. Like, we're cool with being like, underground rappers who will maintain a career and do it forever. And we're not trying to be like superstar touring musicians or whatever. But some people, that's their dream. They want to be playing, 50 shows, 100 shows. Yeah, I did 100 shows one year, and it was not my dream. It was not what I wanted to do. Like, give me 30 and I'm good. And that's what I shoot for every year. Give me 30 shows, 20 to 30, and let me live a normal life in my house and have a stable job with benefits. I'm good. But I'm not trying to be a broke rapper trying to become a billionaire and be the one in a billion that does it. It's not good odds. I'm a math man.
Hypothetical machine again. One more hypothetical. Let's say I could. We're back in '96 right now, and I told you that you would be the billionaire rapper right now. You would be.
Oh, I would have done it in a second. Yeah, I would.
Would you do the diss record then?
Nah, it wouldn't have been a diss record, man. wouldn't have needed to. There was no mentality to diss Jay-Z, man. It was like Jay-Z was like an alien, yo.
There was no reason to do that back then.
Yeah, it was like
there was no reason. Everybody was. What you think?
I used to go home and tell my mom. I used to go home and tell my mom at 25 years old when I was just moving out for the first time, right? I was like, and I was lucky because my dad was trying to kick me out since I was 18. It was like my mom. I would be like, you got to trust me when I tell you that this dude is going to change the world of rap. And as soon as she heard his first record on the radio, she became his biggest fan, followed his whole life, knew Beyonce, knew everything about. She could tell me more about Jay-Z than I could by like 1998. You know what I'm saying? And that was like her. But she was the one in my ear, like, what are you going to do? Move to New York and become a big rap star? What are you going to do? Is that really, you know what I'm saying? I got those traditional blue collar parents from a mill city, you know what I'm saying? Be like, who also told me not to pay $3,000 to be an actor in a movie when they told me I had the role in School Ties, and instead I was a core extra. You see me in the movie all over the place with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and all that stuff. Wow. But because they're like, it's a scam, so I come from that mentality. You know what I'm saying?
I thought School Ties was Brendan
Fraser. It was Brendan, but Matt Damon, Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell. Yes, I don't remember Matt Damon in it.
Look on my page, man. He looks like my Doppler, my doppelganger, man. I got his you're in school, and he lived in Cambridge while I did. Yeah.
So you could have had a lead role in the movie?
No, I had a speaking role. I read for the role of. You want me to share my page here? I can show it if you want, but it's or I don't want to take over your screen, but
no, I mean,
check this out.
I'm royally disappointed, but go ahead.
All right, check this out. Let me show you. So this is my page. Mm-hmm. And this is a joke, by the way, what I put here, but I'll show you. But people thought I was, so look, that, I don't know, you guys don't know me enough to know that looks, my friends are like, oh my God, it's me. So I put, getting tired of playing Matt Damon's body double and folks not knowing. Why do you think we both lived in Cambridge so long? Did you not know we first met on the set of School Ties in the 90s? So that's not the joke. Okay, now you'll know, right? So people are talking and they still think I'm kidding. And I'm like, oh, wait a second. I got to actually post it here. Like, that's me. You know what I'm saying? Oh, wow. That's Brendan Fraser. And they put me, they still gave me the role, even though my mom was like, yo, you ain't paying $3,000 to do this movie, to be a SAG
Where's that member. Hair at now?
What do you say?
Where's that hair at now?
I still got some hair, man. I cut it off all the time, but but anyways, yeah, man, it's, you know what I'm saying? I just keep it low, you know?
No, that guy there looks like a John Travolta in that movie.
Oh, dog, man. I let it grow sometimes like that once in a while just to see if I can still rock it. But okay. No, you know what's funny is I had the same hair I do now, and they were like, you got to cut your hair real low because it was a 50s based movie. But anyways, I'm like 6'3.5", 6'4", and so is Brendan Fraser. And so they were like, yeah, but we still, even if you don't want to pay it, we can still use you as a core extra. You look like the part. You look like some of the people in this movie, i.e. Matt Damon. And they were like, you got the look. We want to do it. You just got to grow your hair out and have the 50 style. Or whatever. I was like, yeah, word, bet. I ended up making like a few thousand from doing that at the time, but I missed mad school because that came out, by the way, being 50. I went to college from 89 to 93. That was filmed in 91 in Lowell and Worcester. I was on that movie for like 3 weeks, missing mad school to do that. And I was what's called a core extra, so which means you actually see me and you paid more because you're in actually all the scene. And I still get called from Boston Casting, all those people all the time. Once you're in one of those movies, they call you all the time and ask, yo, do you want to do blah, blah, blah? And it's,
do you have any qualms with the anti-Semitism portion of the movie?
I mean, it was kind of written from the perspective of like he's the outcast. It's almost the equivalent of, a black kid being blackballed at a white school. This was a Jewish kid being blackballed, well, at a white school too. You know what I mean? And like so that it was from the perspective that they were all idiots for blackballing him or whatever. You know what I mean?
Were you anti-Semite?
No, no. I'm about the most progressive left person. I might as well be communist, dog. I'm so left.
In the movie. I'm talking about
No. I was being extreme with the communists, by the way. I'm all for capitalism. But nah.
No, you're not. If you were, you would have wrote the fuck Jay-Z song.
That's right. Nah, I'm not like, I don't need millions, but that movie was fun, man. That was a fun movie. I learned a lot being in that. Yo, it's a funny thing, a blooper scene. If you watch it, I'm the first one in the gym, running in the gym, right? My role is my IMBD little page. It says like basketball player number 2 or something like that. So I come on the court and I run on the court, right? And that day was like 95 degrees. I come on the court and I'm like strutting my stuff, and they need me dancing around him, and they're like, "You'll be a basketball player. You'll be tall, and you can balance out his height." And so as I run over into the gym, I really play ball. I play basketball every day, right? So I come in the gym and I'm like, I walk up to the director and I go, "Yeah," I'm standing right next to the director like the whole time. As you see, I'm in that circle where the main camera is, right? That was an all-day scene to film that 2 minutes. So I'm standing there. I say to the director, I go, "Yo, there's one problem with the scene." He's like, "What's that?" I'm like, the 3-point line, it didn't exist. They didn't have a 3-point line back then in the 50s. Right. And the dude was like, "Oh." He's like, "Well, we'll work around it." But when you see that shot, I'm looking for that shot. When you see that shot come in, the 3-point line's there. You see it. You actually see it if you look on the floor. So that was a little blooper.
And this film came out around the same time as Dead Poet Society.
Yeah.
Would you say that your film was better?
I like Dead Poet Society. I think Dead Poet Society is better.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted. I wanted the honesty. You gave it to me.
Robin Williams is the man, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I had a Robin Williams poster on my wall when I lived in that mill apartment of What Dreams Shall Come. That thing was ill. It was an ill poster. It was like when the movie theater closed near my house in Lowell, I took the tapestry thing and put that on the wall. It's dope.
Very nice. Pro Lyrical. It's always freaking fantastic hanging out with you. In all the stories. I wish that, your career went another direction.
Dude, it's still going, man. Don't write me off, man. It's still going. Yeah.
I'm waiting for this track. That's the only way you're gonna get anything from me. I'm waiting for this track.
Keep in mind, man. Keep in mind. Remember what my dream was, right? I do about 10 to 20 shows, all college, all paid, still got records. You know what I'm saying? I'm still doing it. I'll probably be doing it until I'm 70, as long as I'm still walking. That's my dream. My dream. Any bigger than that, I can't handle it, man. I'm not built for it. I'm a homebody. Too much of an introvert.
You got to be ready for the crossover show, ladies and gentlemen. We are announcing right now that March 12th will be the crossover show. Next week will just be the anniversary show still, and we might gonna play clips. But the rap battle between Dialect 718 and Pro Lyrical on the
Pro battle again?
No. No, of course it's the 50 bars battle. We're just gonna pick the best one.
50 bars.
Isn't that the name of the track? I mean, name of the contest.
Tyler, what are you thinking? I'm thinking we get 16 out in like.
16.
I'm thinking 16's a heavy lift.
Most, because I know you can. You Pro Lyrical, you can really banter. So. That's what's going to happen on the 12th of March. Yeah. So mark it on your calendar, ladies and gentlemen. The rap contest between Dialect 718 and Pro Lyrical
and others. Maybe March others. You invited others, right? My man Yahweh might come through.
I'm going to introduce the idea to Castro next week when he premieres his video for After Hours. I'm going to ask him would he spit his 16 because he never did give me 16 during the interview, and I'm still upset with myself. Making that happen. I'm as upset with myself as I am with you.
Me not battling Jay-Z.
In '96.
Yo, yeah. Tyler, where is your music out too? I haven't heard your stuff. How do you find your stuff?
Well, I don't have anything posted. I used to have my stuff on MySpace, but that was about it.
Got you. Oh, I remember when that went down. Woo, that was it's still up. I go to my page, it's like a graveyard, man. It's like all kinds of links that don't work and stuff.
I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. I hope it dies of
it won't go away. It's like cockroaches, man. It don't go. It's
unfortunately,
just like 3 of the links work, and you can still hear the songs. Like my focus is back. I can click, it's playing. I'm like, man, MySpace. Yeah, man. Well,
So-
we got to get you back in. Are you trying to get in the studio or anything soon? Or
Yeah. I mean, I'm still writing. I just got back into it, during the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I got my little ASR Pro back here trying to
Dope.
make
ASR 10. I remember that. The ASR 10.
ASR
Yeah.
10. Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's dope.
So you guys are on even plane, and I can't wait for this contest. This meeting.
And we both respect Jay-Z. You notice that?
Oh yes, it sickens me. But I love you, Pro Lyrical, and I can't wait to see you in 2 weeks from tonight.
All right, man. Likewise.
Thank you. Good night.
See y'all.
Oh, and give my regards to Jay Cruz and his fiance.
Absolutely, I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, peace.
Man, I can't believe what could have occurred. Jesus.
I found, like I said, that's an interesting story. It's like, the being around Jay-Z was one opportunity, but then being in that movie. And it's funny, it was one of those movies where you didn't know the guys and they were going to have such big careers, You just never know the people that you're around and what they will end up being. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Brendan Fraser, talk about Oscar winners, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Right. Give me a
I know. Oh, sure. Let me jump into a video in the meantime.
Yes, please. Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Whatever made you think I could go on? I can't believe one word you say. Whatever made you think I could go on? I can't believe one word you say. Whatever made you
Started coasting madness. The shrimp boat, Donald and Pat Hicks.
whatever made
This
you
one for Lil Man, Adrian, Peaches, Big Man, and Mad Mitch. On my Gary Clark, Stick Street, the bandstand, rolling up Marley. Downtown, Julie Brown. Kenny G had the repos, road trip, no just way got it, but they raised me not to say the shit, you say it with me now, Georgetown, Alonzo, Chuck Brown, 58 before the condos, Saratoga, South Dakota, no Fargo, Suitland to Largo, Salters, Blanco, 5th Street, Gonzos, Fronto, Camacho, Haynes Point, where the dealers with the cars go, Dino's, Rios, before we had casinos, my uncle faced scars, Antonio Pacino, a little bass guard, made Lenny Mr. Free Throws, Silly Me, Timothy, Willie D, Ghetto B.O.I. Don't sleep on these streets, counting my sheep though, players ball, wade in the water like Rico.
whatever made you think I could go on? I can't believe
Let me get sentimental in this
one word you
motherfucker, man.
say. Whatever made you think I could go on? I can't believe one word you say. Whatever made
This one for John Green, Spingon, Phelps, the Bullets, Bernard King.
whatever made
One time for Marion, Mickey, Marvin, Foots, The Gardens. Rest in peace, DJ.
whatever made you
Prince, Shooty, Carl, Mooney, Jamal, Fosconi, Mitty, Kermit, Bobby, Lanita, Gloria, Doris, Connie, Papala, Piggy, Reggie, the Hickses, the Greens, the Baileys, the Harleys, Lisa of the world.
whatever
They
made
say Denise a different girl ever since she started sniffing on the pearl. From Benin to the burbs, man, it's just a little herb. King's English on my nouns affecting my lower verbs. God blessed be my daughters, my son is the living word. Now, Ammonia's grandchild, growing to a man, wow.
Tell me the last time.
Yeah, welcome back. HipHopCitizen, Friday Night Live.
Fantastic.
So I guess it's time we just close out with the rest of the anniversaries.
Please, without any pauses for me.
Another album celebrating anniversary, released back in 1996. Lord Finesse released his third album, The Awakening. Most popular songs on this joint was Hip to the Game and Actual Facts, featuring Grand Puba, Large Pro, and Sadat X. Yeah, this was a dope album, man. And the album featured a lot of the DITC members, OC, Big L, a couple of other cats.
You know, I didn't even think about Large Pro and Pro Quo. I wonder if Pro Lyrical. I wonder if Pro is biting a little from Large Professor.
I think it's because Pro is an actual professor. I think Large Professor probably got the name. I'm just guessing. Maybe because he rocked glasses and he looked like a professor.
And he also created Nas. I mean,
Large Professor did his thing back in the day, man. He produced a lot of joints, man. Even some joints, I think, for like Eric B and Rakim. But back then, you know, they didn't really credit producers. Like, you know, I guess the producer was the guy who said, hey, I like that beat. Or, you know, use this sample. You know what I'm saying? But when there was somebody else actually producing it.
That was a 2020 argument that we had for weeks, Dialect, on the whole Sean Combs and his name on the track. And
Sean Combs, you think of people like Beyonce. Lauryn Hill had issues with a miseducation of Lauryn Hill, which went diamond last week. That, you know, she didn't produce any of the songs on there. It was actually a team that did the production.
Oh, it wasn't the Track Masters?
Which one? Lauryn Hill?
Yes.
Nah, I think it was a whole team that did the production, but she said she produced all the tracks.
Interesting. I thought that was the go-to producing team for Columbia.
Yeah, I thought, yeah. And next album anniversary, DJ Quick released his third LP, Safe and Sound. I never, I knew about DJ Quick. I can't say I ever copped any one of his albums. Have you?
No.
Yeah, I guess,
say he wasn't, he was a bad lyricist.
He was a dope lyricist. I thought, he had a pretty clear diction when he spoke. You understood his lyrics. He had a nice flow. It's just I never really got into like his albums. Like my West Coast people were more like the Alcoholics.
Oh, yeah.
Alcoholics.
Exhibit.
Snoop, Exhibit. King T.
Early Cube. Lynch Mob stuff.
Yeah. Rascass is another guy I liked back then. But like DJ Quick, like I knew some of his music. I just can't remember ever buying one of his albums.
Quick is for those that got large disposable income. If you can only buy one album, I mean, you're not going to buy the Quick album. You're going to buy preferably something that's more popular.
Correct. And back then, you remember like in the 90s, it's like every Tuesday, somebody from the East Coast was dropping something, whether it was Redman or some Wu-Tang member. So you was like, I got to choose between Bone Thugs or Only Built for Cuban Links. You're going to go for if you're in Brooklyn, you're going to go for the New York stuff.
That's absolutely correct because you're familiar with it and it spoke to you. See, this is what makes the individual, the artist that's able to elevate beyond their surroundings and make music for global. Mm-hmm. That's what make them, the top-notch MCs. Yeah. Now, Quick was never able to, expound well enough beyond California lingo. And that's what held him back, in my opinion.
But like they always say, those West Coast artists were selling in other places outside of New York.
Right.
Whether it was Texas, Arizona, those places. So they probably sold more than the New York artists would sell based off of that.
I agree.
Next artist celebrating an anniversary. Biz Markie released his debut album, Going Off. Now, this album was fire. I think him too. He also had issues with Marley Marl as far as production go, but this was I believe a Marley Marl produced joint. Favorite joints on this was Making Music with Your Mouth Biz, featuring the resident I guess you could call him vocalist, TJ Swan.
Juice Crew.
Yeah, then you had what's that? Nobody Beats the Biz.
Best song. It went viral at that time. And see, this is what I didn't understand. Was he ever sued by The Wiz?
Yeah, because it was Nobody Beats the Biz, Nobody Beats the Wiz, Nobody Beats the Wiz. Yeah.
Yeah, it was conflicting brands.
Interesting. But yeah, I mean, I think Big Daddy Kane, if I'm not mistaken, wrote a lot of the lyrics on this.
I don't doubt it. They're family, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. That's how Big Daddy Kane met Marley Marl. He knocked on Marley Marl's door. He opened the door. What you want, man? And he was like, "Is Biz here?" And he's like, "Nah, he's not here. What you want?" He's like, yeah, I got some rhymes for Biz. I want to drop off." He's like, "You wrote this stuff?" He's like, "You want to come in and record something?" And that's how we got Big Daddy Kane.
Fantastic. Marley would take anybody that had rhymes.
Just amazing. Back then, a lot of these rappers were just like, like Eric B came knocking on Rakim's door. You know what I'm saying? Because he was actually there to meet Freddie Fox. You know what I'm saying? And Freddie Fox was like, "I can't leave my group." Then he winds up going to Rakim next, and the rest is history.
I ever tell you the story about when I knocked on DJ Enough's door?
Oh no, what happened?
Oh man, I spent about 2 or 3 hours up there freestyling, or what I thought was freestyling. And I hope he still has the tape. It's me totally embarrassing myself, made me never want to rap again. I was saying some of the most ridiculous things, and they didn't even rap. They didn't even,
I wish I knew you back then, man. We could have went there together now.
Yes.
We had several record deals.
Oh, you would have been huge if you would have known me back in the days when I was moving and shaking. You would have been huge.
The only guy I came across that was a rapper back in the day was the nephew of one of the members of the Bushwhackers. I think only people from Flatbush know the Bushwhackers.
I know the Bushwhackers. That's Fishbone, right? No,
that was his nephew.
Oh, okay, all right. So I do recall.
And I thought it was a come up, but then I come to find out the nephew was just there to steal my rhymes.
Now that's what I'm talking about. That's what Pro Lyrical was supposed to have been doing. He was supposed to have been stealing some rhymes. He was supposed to have been trying to. He said,
the dude said, "Yo, dialect, man. Say that rhyme you said to me again." You know, when you say it a second time, you know, he likes the rhymes. When he's telling you to say it another time. I'm like, this guy's memorizing my shit.
He wanted you to record it so he could take it home.
He go to his uncle, "Hey, can I get on the album?" I was like, okay. I said enough's enough. But yeah, another joint on this that I like, my favorite joint was, I thought the name of the song was The Magnificent, but coming to find out the name of it is Bismarck Is Going Off. When it goes, I'm the Magnificent.
Oh,
that's
yeah. Special Ed used that as well.
Yeah. That was my favorite joint off of that album. I just thought this was a creative album, man. Beat-wise, lyric-wise. And I think Biz Markie was one of the first rappers that just didn't care.
Oh, no.
He delivered his lyrics crazy. It didn't matter, but, you know, he did his thing with it, man.
Yo, let me tell you something. Biz Vapors turned a lot of people off. Catching Vapors, a lot of people didn't like that. You know what I'm saying?
I actually like that joint, man.
Oh, it's a hard song, but what he's saying is that those that doubted him, Big Daddy Kane, Shan, all those Cool V, like, yo, F y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all out there now with your hand out. Ooh, you a star now. Can I borrow $1? And, you know, people that knew him before he got big was like, you know, he's trying to diss us. We the ones he's saying catching the vapors.
And he didn't even write it. It was Big Daddy Kane who wrote it.
But Biz performed it.
That's why Big Daddy Kane threw a whole verse about himself in there.
Yes.
Like, hey, I think you should have the third verse about me. Because at the time, I don't even think we knew who Big Daddy Kane was. I don't even think Ain't No Half Steppin' was out.
No, I think we knew came from
the Symphony.
Yes, thank you.
Yes. And another Juice Crew note about the Symphony. MC Shan didn't want to be on the song because he was like, I don't need to be on this joint with all of these new jacks. And everybody else on that song had a pretty thriving career in hip hop.
Even Craig,
except for MC Shan.
Yes, everybody
on that joint. What's that?
Everybody blew up.
Everybody, I mean, Craig G blew up, but more in the underground,
right?
You know, but yeah, I mean, but then again, you got to say Queensbridge blew up, and MC Shan started that wave.
This is true. You got to give him credit for that.
There would not be probably would not be no Nas if Shan didn't come out of Queensbridge.
The bridge took it on the chin, and it just built up nothing but a bunch of MCs.
Yeah. Next album celebrating anniversary, Naughty by Nature. I believe the name of this joint was 1993. This was their third album. the follow up to the second album, which featured OPP.
The biggest hit of their careers.
Yeah, shout out to Naughty by Nature out of East Orange, New Jersey. Black Moon released their this was actually their second album, released in 1999, entitled Warzone.
Buckshot, FT, and Evil D.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about this group, man. What do you think happened to them, man? I when they first came out, they came out with such a big bang. That whole crew, Black Moon, Smith and Wesson, Helter Skelter. What do you think? What do you think slowed their momentum now?
Okay,
in the mainstream,
honestly, business. And business, that being that it went from Black Moon being the main headliner to Duck Down being the main headliner. And once Duck Down became more a superior name than Black Moon, Buckshot, who morphed into BDI, just got carried into the Duck Down thing. Drew Ha, Shucky Ducky, those guys did an excellent job in promoting Duck Down. So everybody just recognized, and Boot Camp. So everybody recognized Boot Camp and Duck Down and forgot about Black Moon, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the biggest artist to come off of Duck Down was the late Sean Price. Because when he started putting out those solo albums, those are to me, some of the best Duck Down stuff that came out in the 2000s.
Really?
But when you were dealing with, Black Moon, Helter Skelter, Smith and Wesson, Fab Five in the late 90s, as a crew, I thought they were a solid unit. I thought they were just as solid as Wu-Tang was.
Absolutely.
And I think what happened was, I think I heard them. I don't think they started messing with the beat miners as much. I think they started bringing in other producers. And I think the beat miners was the one responsible for that sound that gave them the commercial success.
I agree.
Because they had the hardcore lyrics over those smooth beats. And I thought they could have stuck with that little thing they had going.
Smith and Wesson, first Black Moon, first Smith and Wesson, first Helter Skelter. Those were all Brooklyn classics.
Yeah, when you think about speaking of Bill Withers, Smith and Wesson sampled him in Recognize remix. That's one of my favorite songs.
I wasn't crazy about it, but it's a good.
I think they sampled Just the Two of Us before Will Smith did it.
That's correct.
And
that is correct.
And then you had Buckshot when he had I Got You Open, the remix.
Oh yeah,
I thought those are some hip hop classics. I thought this crew, and they almost signed Eminem in the early days.
Oh wow!
Could you imagine if they had signed him?
Oh, he would have left.
Huh? You think he would have left eventually?
Absolutely. Listen, do you know? There's a reason why Dr. Dre's a billionaire. He knew how to tap into an artist or a talent's ability to be them best selves. Yeah. And I don't think Boot Camp always had that talent or that ability to make everybody sound their best selves.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Dre dropped the ball when he let Eve go, because he signed Eve originally.
Yeah, but Eve is a talent, but I think her talent as an actress is far more superior than her talent as a rapper.
Oh, I guess we could disagree on that.
Okay.
So the next album we have celebrating a birthday. Eminem released his this was his second album, but it's his debut album on Aftermath, the Slim Shady LP. So this was the album that introduced the world to Eminem with My Name Is and cast of other songs. But how did you feel about Eminem when you first heard him? Were you a fan? Honestly. It wasn't your thing. It wasn't your cup of tea.
It was gimmicky. It was supposed to have been for fun. I don't like my hip hop fun. I don't want fun hip hop. Okay. I want my hip hop street and gutter and ghetto. Okay.
Yeah, I'll admit back in the day, man, I was one of those what people would call a player hater, a backpacker. So anything that was out of the ordinary, I kind of liked it. But I definitely appreciated Eminem's lyricism, the way he flowed his words together and everything like that. So I actually thought it was a dope album. I can't say I got it, but I remember going to his show. I got the second album. I know I have the second album, the Marshall Mathers LP, which is my favorite Eminem album.
It's a good one.
I remember going to see him do a show right before this album came out when nobody knew who he was, kind of like what Pro Lyrical mentioned about Jay-Z. And Eminem and Royce the 5'9" were opening up for KRS-One and Buckshot. And there were people throwing bottles on the stage when Eminem performed. And I'll be honest with you, man, and white guests in the audience too were throwing bottles at Eminem. And I just said, I looked at my man and said, yo, they only doing this because he's white. Because I actually thought he was dope. I was like, yo, they're not giving him a chance. I actually thought he was nice.
He wasn't street.
Yeah, I just think they saw a white guy up there. You know, he had on like one of those jailhouse, one of those onesies, like what I don't know if they call it onesies, but one of those jumpsuits, correct. Those suits like what they wear in a gas station or something like that. You know, he was rocking one of those and he threw a t-shirt, but it was me and this other white guy, a white kid that went to Howard, mind you. They used to rap with gold fronts in his mouth. He looked at me and said, yo, man, they're not giving him a chance. I was like, yo, this kid is nice, man. And a couple of months ago, like what Pro Lyrical said, people are lining up around the corner to see him. And I actually got the opportunity to, like, you know, shake Eminem's hand when he handed me one of his stickers. And I just looked there and said, yo, keep doing your thing, man. Keep doing your thing, man. But not knowing that this guy was going to be one of the biggest artists of all times, you know?
He met Dr. Dre, right?
Correct. I should have been a fanboy at the time. Be like, yo, man. You know, but, you know, I was...
No, you should have went home and wrote the diss track. Fuck Eminem and all that bullshit he doing. That's what you and Pro Lyrical really missed your calling.
Yeah, next album celebrating the anniversary. Prince Paul released his second album, Prince Among Thieves. And this was an interesting album because the entire album was like a movie. You know, where the main character, Breesley Bruin from the Juggernauts, you know what I'm saying, was going through different scenarios, and every different scenario was a song. So you had Big Daddy Kane in the album playing a pimp, and you could see his image in the bottom. You had Everlast playing a cop. You had Exhibit playing the guy's cellmate. So it was an interesting album, man. I thought it was dope. So
was these guys on the album?
Was that
Big Daddy Kane?
Yeah, they were all on the album. Playing characters. Like the entire album's like a movie from beginning to end.
No raps?
All raps, but it's like Hamilton. It's a lyrical movie kind of.
Okay, very nice.
It's dope. You'll
check it out on YouTube.
Yeah. And next album celebrating anniversary, The Roots released their fourth album, Things Fall Apart, which was like, I think their the album that brought them to mainstream success. Got them the Grammy win because of the hit song You Got Me featuring Erykah Badu and Eve. Yeah, this was a dope album, man.
And you know who was supposed to sing that song?
Jill Scott wrote it.
That's correct. That's who was supposed to perform it. And they said, maybe we'll go another direction. And Erykah Badu came in and laid it down, and that was the history was made.
Which was so interesting. But you see, Jill Scott kept going, and she still wound up to be one of the biggest artists in neo soul history.
Absolutely. She wrote the song, so she had talent.
The same category that Erykah Badu is in, the neo soul category. You know what I'm saying? And then they met each other on Verses, and to be honest with you, it's like they both kind of helped each other because Erykah Badu, I think, got a Grammy for that song that Jill wrote, and that song introduced the world to Jill Scott.
Absolutely.
So she started her career, so they both, and like I said, they were both grateful, man. You know, even though it was a battle, they were both grateful for the opportunity to have known each other.
That's it. That's what it's all about. It's about appreciating one another.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're about close to closing time, so I'm gonna get through these other albums. Also celebrating anniversary, Boogie Down Production released their final album back in 1992, Sex and Violence. Interesting album cover.
But KRS-One still had a hit after that. With
after that, he just pretty much all the albums were pretty much KRS-One albums, but it was just on the Boogie Down Production. It was a cast of characters, but it was really only KRS-One rapping.
Mm-hmm.
And I think D and Nice did some of the beats, and Miss Melody, rapped on a couple of joints. Next album celebrating anniversary, Fu-Schnickens released their debut album, F You Don't Take It Personal. This was a classic album from these. I know Chip Fruits from out of Flatbush. Not too sure about Pac and Mach Fu.
I met which one is Mach Fu?
Mach Fu, I believe, is the one
the middle or the other on the outside?
One at the end, yeah, the one that at the other end of Chip Fu.
Okay, now I met that guy at my high school, Edward R. Murrow.
Yeah, I think he's from that area though, man. He's from that area, I believe. Yeah. Because I know a Pakistani guy that said he knew him very well. So I was wondering, is this guy from Pakistan? But yeah, definitely, man, a dope group, man. My favorite joints was Ring the Alarm and La Schmoove, featuring Phife Dawg.
Good one.
Yeah, and they were the first artists to actually bring out my man Shaq Fu.
Right.
Shaquille O'Neal. They're the ones that gave him his start in the hip hop game. And I interviewed Chip Fu. I was like, man, how was it working with Shaq, man? He said, oh, it was cool, man. But I still felt like Shaq should have kept him around, though, man. But things happen.
Shaq making music with Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah, Shaq also had Peter Guns on his wing too.
Say again, Peter Guns. What?
Yeah, Peter Guns was also trying to Shaq for a minute. Next album celebrating anniversary, Freeway released his debut album back in 2003, Philadelphia Freeway. Favorite joint on this, of course, is What We Do.
Even though what we do is wrong.
Classic, man. I mean, Freeway had an unorthodox style, man, but it was like he was saying some shit in them songs, though.
Yo, the one line that he said
on what they do?
No. And Philly oh man.
Oh, you talking about Rock the House? Freeway in the house him and Bean Siegel?
No, there's another one that he says, if you following me, you need toll, money for gas, money for toll, the house of tuck. Yo, I'll send you the link.
He had some lines like what they do. He was like, because he said, if my stomach start growling and the heat start working and my heat start working, I'm gonna rob me a person. I'm like, okay. When the heat stop working, then his heat start working. I'm like, okay. Freeway he had an ill style, man. But definitely, man, pioneering artist out of Philly. Shout out to Freeway.
Well, we have to thank Dame Dash for Freeway.
Yeah, Dame Dash and Rockefeller, of course. It was on the Rockefeller, a member of State Property with Bean Siegel, Oskino and Sparks.
Thank you, Chris.
And what's the other cat? Not P.D. Pablo, my bad. No disrespect. P.D. Crack. I almost said P.D. Pablo.
You did, but we're going to let that slide.
Yeah, you're going to let that slide. Next album celebrating anniversary. Little Brother released their debut album, The Listening, back in the early 2000s. Fonte, Big Pooh, and Ninth Wonder. I know you're probably familiar with Ninth Wonder.
Ninth Wonder, yes.
Yeah, big producer. But this was the group he came out with first, repping NC, North Carolina. And final single celebrating anniversary. I believe this one actually turns 30 today. LL Cool J released the single Mama Said Knock You Out. Which was, I think, like I always say, was the album and single that brought back LL Cool J's career. This was the album that had Jingling Baby on it, Cars Drive By with the Booming System, Around the Way Girl. I'm talking about majority of joints on this album was classic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Shout out to LL, man. One of my, favorite MCs, man. I don't do the top 5 like everybody else.
Let's not forget LL and Jay-Z the same age.
Interesting.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And and then Jay-Z comes out of nowhere and winds up being his boss at one point.
I wouldn't go that far. I think he left Def Jam at that point.
Oh, he left?
I don't think he was still doing Def Jam at that point.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. But I guess that's it for tonight's show.
Let's run down a couple of things, a couple of advertisements real quick. Mm-hmm. For one, we want to say check out the Notorious B.I.G. documentary. Shout out Snapple.
Yeah, it's Monday.
It's coming out on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Check out the if you can. There's a Teen Titans episode with De La Soul. It's very musical, entertaining, as well as educational. Mm-hmm. Check that out. As well as next week is the anniversary show. No matter if there's going to be a rep contest or not, we're going to have special guest Castro come in and introduce his video for after hours. We're also I'm going to try. I have a new phone that's not cooperating with this with giving me the ability to do the same thing, taking clips as the old one did. And I put the chip in the old one today. It worked a little bit. I was back in business for a short period of time, but within an hour it started acting up from last week. I dropped it in water. I don't know if you are familiar with that story, but if I can, I'm going to steal some clips from past shows that I think people will enjoy. I'm going to have Dialect set it up. Tuesday, of course, is going to be Hip Hop Classics. What is the name of that show?
We call it I guess we for now it's Throwback Tuesdays.
Throwback Tuesdays. I like Throwback Tuesdays. I like Hip Hop Rewind. We're gonna banter around and throw some ideas against the wall. And we're gonna have a name for that, a title for that show for you. Obviously next week. Even if we just go with, what did you say? Throwback Tuesdays. Even if we just go with Throwback Tuesdays. So join us for that. And David Simonism, Google me.
Yeah, and also you bring up the video show on Tuesday. They're also bringing back Yo MTV Raps, but it won't be on MTV. But we're kind of doing that, man. Kind of like what you were used to seeing on Yo MTV Raps via Music Box back in the day. We're kind of bringing back that old school video show kind of feel. So definitely check us out on Tuesday from 9 p.m. to 11 on Twitch, HipHopCitizen page.
Brandish that comment. Thank you. So it's out there for people to check out. Please do.
It was interesting. I mean, but for them to bring it to that new audience, I just thought that was kind of like, wow, do these kids even know? Even though the characters were saying, "Oh, you're Pasta News. Oh, you're Plug One, aka this." I'm like, do they really know who these people are?
I think the whole thing about it is to educate the young people that watch Teen Titans and the nerds that are older that watch Teen Titans, in the music business and the way things go about. Because you hear all the time, oh, they don't teach you economics in school. Well, not economics, but they don't teach you the responsibility of cash and things like that, debt, and people end up getting into a large debt and not knowing how to get out of it. So this is a way of them alerting future artists and talented people that you don't want to sign contracts that eventually you don't know what the future holds. Like, they didn't know the internet was going to come around and be another platform for their music to be played and used, and they don't get any funds for it. So what they're trying to teach everybody is, please think ahead and say that all contracts, that there is renegotiating practices when things arise. But I mean, if they start selling your stuff on Mars, you might not get paid.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yes, it is. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, y'all. You can find me at Dialect718, Instagram and Twitter, and on HipHopCitizen on Facebook. Thank y'all for watching us. God bless you. Good night. See you next week. Peace.
Namaste.